Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand. Ay, we on overtime, you don't need to understand. Ay, you just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right. Hey, please don't play no games with me. I promise I'm too much. Hey, I can never let up even if you had enough. Hey, this ain't for the faint of heart. We always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat a submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance ain't coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk about the show them. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling. They already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand. Ay, we on overtime, you don't need to understand. Ay, you just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right. Cause it can get big right.
All right. Impromptu live. Salute to everybody in the buildings. Clap it up for yourselves, everybody in the building, man. We've got a lot to talk about today. Got a special guest today. What types of things we're working on, man. Shout out to all you guys. I know this ain't the normal time, guys. Normally, you know what I mean, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays, but, you know, today we decided to pop up. We got a special guest on the show today, and I felt like it was a good day to kind of follow up with what happened over the weekend. Saturday was a very impactful day in the boxing space. Just, you know, in general, you know, I mean, the zone really just showed out this weekend on Saturday. You got to give them their flowers. I mean, just a whole entire day of just the biggest fights. Cinco de Mayo weekend really just showed out on Saturday, right? David Benavidez made a legitimate statement, I believe, and we'll talk about that obviously today as well, as far as what the statement actually is. The space is buzzing. People are talking about him on the pound for pound list. You know, I had an interesting conversation with my boy Ray Davis a little earlier today as well, even on the phone. You know, remarkably enough, a lot of people are feeling like that David Benavidez should be number one on the pound for pound list. That's how impactful the performance was. Now, you guys know how I feel about it. I'm not on the same. I'm not in the same place as everybody else, but I just think the fact that the conversation is shaking up the space is good enough, right? Like that alone lets you know how impactful the performance was. We'll talk about in real time where we see him at and what this really means and what the future looks like. Obviously, he has so many options coming up next. We you know, he put us on alert that he was looking to do something to go back to 175 and fight Dmitry Bivol, and that's great. And obviously, Jai Opetaia is there as well. I'm even hearing Turkey Al-Sheikh interested in putting him in there with Alexander Usyk in 2027. So that's interesting as well. Big fights. That move super impactful for David Benavidez, man. And when you talk about strategy with hindsight, in hindsight, you got to be like that. That was a real, very, very, very productive strategic move to make that fight happen with Zurdo Ramirez. I would say the right opponent at the right time, no matter how anybody wants to describe it, cherry pick, whatever they feel like, at the end of the day, it was very strategic and it's working out for him. So definitely grew his brand. He's viral everywhere. The stoppage was amazing, breaking down Zurdo Ramirez that way. The punch combinations, the speed, the power, breaking his orbital bone. I mean, all those different things. We'll talk about all that, right? Also, in Japan, Monster Inoue against Junto Nakatani. What a performance. Funny enough, mixed reviews on what people thought about the fight. It was a very strategic, technical fight, and not for everybody. We know we have a casual audience that needs to see a knockout or wants to see a violence, explosive. I get it. Right. They want to see all those things. But on a tactical level, that fight was super entertaining. And we'll talk about that fight as well, the impact of it on the back end of that fight. What is Inoue going to do? Rumors are circulating about Bam Rodriguez potentially being another super fight for him, a number 4 pound-for-pound fighter against a number 1 pound-for-pound fighter. That could be very interesting, guys. We were calling for this and speaking on this months ago about whether or not Bam is going to be ready for this or not. We'll talk about that, right? Because I think he's getting ready to fight at 118, maybe. I don't really remember, but he's a small guy, man, right? And Monster Inoue is a well acclimated, undisputed lineal champion at 122. Is this too soon for Bam Rodriguez? Is this what he should be doing next? And a lot of people, once again, in the boxing space are favoring Bam Rodriguez to win that fight. And I get it, right? The skill, the IQ, I get it completely, man. I don't know. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't know if he wins that fight. I think he's fully capable of doing it, but I probably would have rather him been, at least one tune-up fight in the division, what I'm saying, before he got in there with Monster. But listen, time waits for no man. When the opportunity strikes, sometimes it's you get ready, you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And maybe that's what has to happen. But I'm sure Bam is going to get himself as prepared as he can for that. And I'm sure we're going to see the best version that we can see of Bam that day. We'll talk about that as well. Or does he go up to 126? Does Bam pass on that and maybe say, listen, that's not the time for me right now? Maybe we can convince Inoue to come back down from 126 to do a catch weight when the right time is there. Maybe a fight with Takuma Inoue, it makes more sense. Maybe a fight with Nakatani, with Junto Nakatani makes more sense. All those different options that I'm sure are on the table for everybody on the back end of that fight. Great undercard. We got to talk about Canelo Alvarez also and his presence in the Cinco de Mayo extravaganza. And he kind of shook up the space in his own way. Interesting response from the fan base, from the audience, from the people in the building. I was a little shocked. I will start off a little bit. I didn't think it would be like that. I really didn't think it would be like that, but we'll talk about that and what he tried to do and, the rollout and Munguia's performance as well. Him being a real native of Mexico, David Benavidez being the Mexican-American, right? Well, Mexican-Ecuadorian-American, right? Not even full-blooded Mexican per se. What does that mean to that community? And as far as Jaime Munguia at 168, what a great performance by Jaime Munguia, first of all. I'm giving his flowers, right? But what was that whole thing about with Canelo and Eddie Reynoso hoisting him up on his shoulders, walking him around the ring? It was an interesting scene to watch, man. It was an interesting scene to watch. Almost felt like a little bit of competition going on there. Kind of felt like Canelo and Team Canelo were kind of making a statement there on seemingly David Benavidez's night. He's the headline of the card. It's his Cinco de Mayo card. And that ended up looking the way it did. It is what it is. It's also fight week also, right? We also got a big, huge heavyweight fight getting ready to happen this weekend as well between Fabio Wardley and our guy Daniel Dubois. Very interesting fight. Fabio Wardley just came out of nowhere, guys. It just is what it is, right? And I think for me, it's a little unsettling. I'm still unsettled on Fabio Wardley. I don't know how to really, I'm just trying, right? I'm trying, I'm seeing this fighter who's showing so many, he's showing that he's not there yet as far as pedigree is concerned, but he finds a way to get on the winning side of these conversations, right? He gets into these fights, they're going one way and he ends up winning. What do we say about Fabio Wardley? He is a WBO champion, right? He beat Joseph Parker. He collected that interim title. He was elevated to full champion, and he's here. And we got to deal with him. And he's a big puncher, and it is what it is, right? Get a bed ready for him. Get his towels in his bag. You know what I'm saying? Make space for him. Make an extra spot at the dinner table. We have a guest. His name is Fabio Wardley, right? It is what it is. We're a hospitable community. We're going to show him love and treat him like he's part of the family. But he does seem kind of a little awkward at times when you're talking about putting him in there with what we would consider a very tried true heavyweight, ex-heavyweight champion in Daniel Dubois. Who's been in there with Alexander Usyk twice, knocked out Anthony Joshua. He's the guy on paper you want to favor. You just feel like he should be the favorite. I feel like this time last year, Fabio Wardley was domestic at best. You know what I mean? He was a domestic. His biggest fighting accomplishment was knocking out Frazier Clark, right? That's what he did. Broke him off, knockout of the year. And all of a sudden, this guy's in the conversation of some of the biggest fights. So we'll talk about that as well, man. We'll talk about that as well. And before we go any deeper than that, let me salute to everybody in the building here. I am waiting on, I don't see him. Okay. Welcome down Van Houder in the building. Salute. Welcome down Van Houder. What's good with you? My guy Sam from Jersey in the building. Salute. King James in the building says Duck Zurdo has been avoiding Jai for years and got cooked and exposed as a fraud he is. Oh, man. Shout out to Pugilism in the building. El Monstro, E Honda 1000 hand slap. Oh, yeah. I think it's a good description. Jeremy Hurd in the building says, what up, Clay? We are getting ahead of ourselves. He beat up a sparring partner and then hit him with an elbow at the end. Messed up. Oh, wow. Yeah, we got to talk about all of that, right? I'm in the middle, man. I'm acknowledging what you're saying, King James, right? I'm acknowledging what you're saying, but I'm in the middle. Shout out to Roger That in the building. Shout out to BVO Sports in the building. Pugilism in the building. Salute. Bulbous Academy in the building says Mexican boxing once again proves to be number one. Okay. Yeah, sure, bro. Talking USD. Salute. WP 3636 with the deuces. Jeremy Hurd says he on the same stuff. Nina Boys was there. Blah, blah. Okay. You guys are crazy. Anyway, that being said, you guys are going kind of crazy right now in the chat. We do have a special guest in the building as well. This is fight week for Zuffa. Zuffa 6 is going down. Listen, Zuffa's been doing their thing, man. Slowly but surely moving forward, pushing their fighters through. This guy right here already was on the first Zuffa event, really almost pretty much stole the show. You know what I'm saying? Just took it by storm. Probably one of the most premier welterweights in the division right now. A fighter who's been steadily building momentum, making noise, and now stepping into a new era of boxing under the Zuffa banner, right? We're talking about a man coming off of a strong performance. He's staying active, which is important, something he embraced when we last spoke to him, and positioning himself to make a real statement in his next chapter of his career. But I think what makes this moment interesting isn't just the fight; it's everything around it. At this point, I've seen him at the WWE. I've been keeping a watch on Julian. He's moving around, bro. The preparation now, the transition into a new system now with the Apex. The brand building outside of the ring and what it all means in the bigger picture. Where is boxing headed? You know what I'm saying? Right now with Zuffa Boxing and with their up and coming stars, we're going to touch on all that. His last fight was an amazing fight, but he's heading into another challenge here. Taller, undefeated guy from out of Massachusetts. Just new adversity, new things for him to conquer. And I'm interested in how this one is going as far as training camp and how he's preparing for it. And also, hopefully he can put us on to Perella and exactly what we should be expecting in this fight, man. But nonetheless, let me not waste any more time, man. I know he's on the time clock. My guy, there he is right there.
Yo, what's up? How's it going, guys?
You're back, brother. You're back, man. How you feeling, man?
I feel great, locked in. It's fight week, so, that mindset is it's already kicked in, so I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I'm going to ask you straight up. First of all, how's it been since your last fight? You know what I mean? I've seen you at the WWE. What's been happening in between there, especially before this actual fight was announced? What have you been up to? Just kind of catching up with the family? Have you just been in the gym still, or did you take a break? You made some money. You did some things. You know what I mean? So how's it been since then?
Yeah, I was right back in the gym, honestly. I was.
Oh, Julian, you're frozen. He's frozen. Give him a minute. I'm sure it's just a bad connection.
it was a pretty long fight. You know, I put a lot of pressure and stuff. I didn't really take any damage. I felt fresh. I felt it has to do with weight cuts. You know, if you have have a good weight cut, your body will feel it. You know, you'll feel the fight for maybe 2, 3 weeks, or
Uh-huh.
you know, you'll get more. You'll feel the injuries a little more, things like that. But I felt great. Um, right back in the gym. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of new opportunities that are coming my way. I'm just taking advantage of the opportunities, and I understand how, you know, you kind of got to show your face. You got to be out there in this day and age in boxing. You know, I didn't really grow up from an era like that where I grew up from an era of boxing where it was frowned upon to have cameras in the gym and stuff like that. You know, like Clubber Lang type stuff, you know, just focus. But it's a different day and age now, and these companies really cater to fighters who go and do it by themselves or with their team, not so much like, all right, what does the company have for me to do? And you know, they start taking notice when a fighter takes initiative. So that's
Yeah.
just what we're doing. You know what I mean? Little by little. I'm not really doing anything extravagant as far as promoting or doing my little YouTube vlogs and things like that. But
Right.
yeah, it's something that we just started implementing. And it was really because we got a camera to record our sparring and then dissect it later and stuff. And then once I got home after the gym, I started getting creative with the camera, and just, you know,
Yeah.
it keeps me home. I'm there editing videos and shit. So it's a cool thing, you know. I like the arts also, so I'm just learning and having fun with it.
Nah, I'm definitely noticing. I'm seeing you moving around. I'm like, all right. I mean, the whole Zufa thing right now. I mean, I saw I get, were you invited to the WWE event, or you just kind of showed up? Because it looks like a whole group of you guys were there. It
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
like a lot of you
we were
guys were there.
invited. You know, Zuffa's doing a great job at cross promoting, you know, which I
Mhm.
think is going to be huge for them. I think it's one of the main aspects of promotion that they have to offer. Excuse me, sorry. I don't know
No
what the
problem, no
hell's going
problem.
on with this.
Yeah, for sure, for
Um,
sure. No doubt,
so
no
it
doubt.
won't happen
So
again.
when did you get the when were you put on notice that you had this fight? Like, basically, how long of a camp did you have to literally prepare for this fight?
Yeah, I think about like 10 weeks.
Okay.
So I came out here to Vegas 8 weeks, 8 weeks away from the fight.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you know, as opposed to the last camp, we were only here for maybe 2.5. So I had a full camp over here in Vegas, utilizing all these resources out here, good sparring, uh, just locking in, bro, just grounding myself here where the fight's gonna be, and utilizing all the things that Zuffa has to offer for us fighters.
Definitely, definitely. I seen you
Hey
running your
Julian,
son out there.
hey Julian, this is Angelo. Want to ask you this question. I ran into you on Zuffa Boxing 4 during the Jai Opetaia fight, so glad to have you back on the show. I saw when you came into Vegas, you brought your coach with you, so I'm sure the camp's been going very smoothly. Are you already all the way a Vegas resident like us now, or are you still kind of floating back and back and forth?
Yeah, well, I plan on being a Vegas resident. I'll probably be moved over fully in the next 2, 3 months. I just didn't want to put that type of I was just my manager Dmitry Popov brought me right back, you know, on the next card with Zufa. Well, so soon with Zufa. So I didn't want to have to deal with moving and stuff like that. So it was just a matter of focusing on the fight. And now I think we'll have a little bit of time where it makes sense to just focus strictly on this move to Vegas and solidify my ends over there in Jersey before I make that happen.
So
That's
that's in
awesome.
the game. That's in the plans. Like, so you plan on, you made up your mind at this point, like you're gonna make a little move over to Vegas. Just kind of be in the mix, or just how's that gonna work?
Oh yeah, it's what's gonna happen for sure.
That makes
Man,
sense.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I was going to ask you, you were in WrestleMania. So I noticed you didn't get a chance to bring your son to WrestleMania. Did he ask you about it? Were you doing like a
No,
FaceTime conversation with him, or
no, I
what was
did. I
going on?
definitely I did FaceTime him when I was there, and I sent him a
Okay.
lot of content and stuff. But you know, he can't miss so much school, you know. So he's already gonna
Right.
miss a few days coming for the fight. So you know, these are some things we gotta take into consideration. You know, he missed a lot of days the last camp for the last fight. So, you know, school's number one.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Is James Perella the tallest opponent you've ever had in either both amateurs and the pros?
No, no. I mean, I did just fight Avius Griffin, who's also six
Right.
foot, but growing up, I fought Jamonte Clark, who's like 6'3", 6'2". I fought Robert Easter Jr., who's also around 6 foot or 5'11". I'm used to my whole life fighting taller guys. I was always the shorter one in my weight class, and how to utilize getting in and just being strategic, even if it's not getting in. Like with Avius, I was more on the outside or out of his range, and then when I wanted to fight, I would invade his space, get my punches off, and then get out to
Turn them
safety.
on.
But
Right.
it depends. Depends on the fighter, depends on their punch output, depends on how hard they hit. A lot of determining factors, but all of that stuff kind of um, I figure that out within the first 2 minutes of the fight. Pretty
Right.
much.
Right. I
There's
mean,
things
can
you
I
can
mean,
see outside, but as soon as you get inside, there's things that do translate, and there's things that don't. So you have to have that type of adaptability.
now, as far as James Perella is concerned, like we're not that familiar with him at all, really. So I mean, if you were to describe him as a fighter, just doing your own studying on who he is and what we're going to be dealing, what should we be looking forward to seeing from him? Like, what's the thing about Perella? I mean, he's tall, obviously. So is it that lead hand? You got to kind of figure out how to close that void. Is he a big puncher? Is he a boxer puncher? Is he a who is Mr. Perella? And what should we be
Well,
expecting?
I mean, he seems to have many tools. Also, I think he's pretty elusive at times. He shows different types of defenses, and he can also press forward. There's a lot of things I've seen. Again, this is against a certain level of competition. I definitely am, way different in terms of experience level from the opposition he's been fighting.
Right.
But with that being said, he's still a man at the opposite end of the ring with two gloves on, just like me,
You
fighting
got to
for
go.
his family, I'm sure. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I see on paper or what I see in the ring, or from previous fights with different opponents. I mostly focus on what I have to do, on my abilities, and making sure that all my tools are sharpened for fight night.
Yes, sir. So I'm noticing, like, I mean, he got a decent knockout ratio in his last two fights. He has a knockout, but this is going to be really like almost his first 10 rounder. I think he had one like a little while ago, but it seems like he's been really an 8 round fighter. But he seems like a welterweight, career welterweight, right? Whereas you kind of stepped up, he's really kind of nice and acclimated to the system. So this looks like it might be another fight of the night. I ain't gonna lie, like with the way you fight and his record, what are you expecting? You expecting like fireworks with this guy?
Um, I don't, I don't, I don't really focus on that. I
Okay,
just focus on doing the best, feeling the best that as possible. And I know when I'm letting these hands go and they're landing, there's not too many people that are gonna be able to withstand that, especially uh, you know, me letting the hands go. In the last fight, I was a little bit more reserved, and the
right.
guy put a lot of pressure, was throwing a lot of punches. I didn't, I've seen a lot of times where people let the hands go, and if he was taking the shots, then let's see, the gas tank might not have been there in the eighth, ninth round. So I was very reserved and took my time to win the rounds and just pop shot at him. And I let the hands go in some select spots, which, you know, y- it was undeniable where like if I did that for the first few rounds, it wouldn't have went the distance, but
Mm.
learning, I'm still learning, you know what I mean? And I'm taking with every fight a lot of lessons and a lot of growth. So, I'm real excited to be facing my third undefeated fighter in a row. We're
Right.
on an upward trajectory here, and that's exactly what I need to do. That's the type of opposition I need to create the type of memories I want to create for my career and for the sport of boxing, for Zufa, for everyone that's watching.
Hey, Julian. I believe if I'm not mistaken, at least on the big stage, right? This is your first co-main event, which I thought was pretty exciting because it feels like Zufa's following the UFC format. On your last fight, you were the opener. Now you're the co-main event. So things going successful. I'm sure your next fight, you're going to end up being the main event. I was going to ask you, how does it feel to be put on that? Because this is a Paramount Plus, and as you know, with that comes with a lot of CBS backing. Who knows how many different commercials? I just saw a commercial of you in Brazil, man. I'm a UFC guy, so UFC Brazil showing your commercials right now. You, Shane Mosley,
That's
Sergey
awesome.
Boachek. So it's great, right? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about co-main event?
I'm very grateful and appreciative, you know what I mean? But I don't really focus on those things too much. I don't overthink things. I just focus on what I gotta do. I take it day by day. I focus on maximizing my training regimen. Yeah, of course it's cool to see and it's cool to be a part of the show, but I tend to appreciate those things after the fact. After the
Right.
fight's done, then I'll look back and be like, man, that was a cool experience. But it's hard to appreciate those things or be in the moment with those things because I'm thinking about the fight. This is,
Right.
Mm,
this is a serious thing for me. This is so I
Right.
don't I don't really care about those things. They don't have a in fact they help me perform better. They help me lock in better because it's more so like, all right, they're putting us on the stage. We're gonna be fighting in front of thousands, millions of people. Like, I just it just brings out the best in me. So that's how I utilize that.
So Julian, it's fight week, right? So typically, what are we expecting? What are you expecting this week? You know what I mean? You're on point with your weight cut. I'm assuming you've been at the facility eating correctly. I can already see it. I see you in fight mode. Like I already see it in your eyes. Like you just like, yo, bro, I'm just ready to give this guy all of this pain I've been going through for the past couple of weeks. I really got issues with him. Do you have issues? Are you the kind of fighter who has issues with your opponent? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you that kind of guy? Like, do you go into the fight like, yeah, I really don't like you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I did a whole lot
Yeah.
this fight camp. I've been eating, dieting, running, and I don't even know. Do you not like your opponents? You know what I'm saying? Going into the
No, no,
fight.
I don't need to dip into that to motivate
Okay.
myself. I think a lot of fighters do that because they apply pressure on themselves and they kind of like, well, if I'm out here talking shit, I gotta back it up. So it kind of makes them work harder. I don't need to do that. I have a great sense of like, a vault where I can pull motivation from within myself and within my team. So that's kind of what motivates me. I mean, of course, like I'm just genuine though. Like if the opponent does get disrespectful and things like that, cool. Like I'll just do what I feel. You know what I mean? I don't do things on purpose to put on a show or, oh, because there's cameras around, let me say this or whatever. I just do what I feel. Initially, it doesn't matter what happens outside the ring. So like I don't really care. But
Right.
I respond organically, and I think that's what resonates with the people the most. I don't sit
Right.
there and be super loud and be cringe and things because when it's not real and it's not genuine, it could turn cringe real quick, and then that turns the fans off. What you
Facts.
see is what you get with me. I'm open book, but you come with respect. Cool, I respect you. It doesn't mean I'm gonna punch you less or lighter
Right.
on fight night. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
yeah, I just think of it like that, bro.
I mean,
uh,
so during the week, right? During this week, you don't want to risk any. What's this week going to look like for you? You know what I mean? Do you got a lot of media planned up, and how are you training? How are you carrying it this week going into the fight? Does that make sense? Like, how are you carrying it
Yeah,
this week until fight night?
yeah. Well, the toughest week in camp is usually 2 weeks from the fight, and this
Okay.
last week is just riding off. I'm locked in mentally. Um, there's a lot of mental things that I go through in a positive way, like to reinforce myself, and that's where I usually utilize this last week, locking in mentally. Um, utilizing lighter gloves to feel uh, like my timing closer to the fight, things like that. Wearing 8-ounce gloves, which is what we're going to be wearing for the fight. Focusing on speed and explosiveness, less drills and less things like what we did in all camp. I was wearing 20-ounce gloves in the camp, you know what I mean? So working on heavy drills and things like that, where now it's just the hard work is already done. It's just about aligning myself physically, mentally, spiritually, and the release will happen on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Julian. That's awesome. We've spoken before about how, and you've heard our show with me and Clay since last year. We've been saying that Zufa, the takeover is real, right? And over the
Oh
last
yeah.
few months, we've seen it happening more and more and more. You're a very zened out person. I mean, I can feel that right now. You're locked into your fight. It'll be what it is, right? Like a samurai waiting for the next strike. But there are people that just got signed, like a Berlanga or a Hitchens, who, as you said, like to talk it up. Are you excited about having these type like newer and newer roster people? Because these are going to be some of your opponents, right? Possibly a Teofimo Lopez, as here in the streets of Vegas. I hear a lot of things too, Julian. I hear a lot of things too, brother. And there's going to be a lot of people coming to your division. And last time we spoke to you, you said you're number one in this division. So how you feeling about it?
Yeah, no, I think that's what I mean. It benefits boxing, and every fighter is different. Every fighter pulls motivation and inspiration from different places. So I don't knock them for it. If they feel like they got to talk shit and be loud or arrogant or whatever, and all attention is good in this game, to be honest with you. So, with respect, I see it. You know what I mean. But there's some people who do it well and some people who don't. And I just, I'm in my own lane. I focus on myself. I see everything out there, and it just helps me navigate my career, my life, the way I want to do it. To each his own. And I know Berlanga since and Hitchens since they were
Hitchens.
young. We're all here
Got two
from the
last
East
names.
Coast. I'm right over the bridge. He's fought a few of my teammates, my younger teammates, and at the time. But so I grew up around all these guys and stuff like that. So I know them. I know the stuff that lies beneath all that shit. So
Mm,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. You know what I mean? When that time comes, but uh, I don't fake the funk. You know what I mean? I'm as
mm.
real as it gets. And there's just certain things that you feel. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I know we're crunching down on time because I know you got to get to it. So I'm just gonna say, as far as family's concerned, are they involved in a week like this, or are you completely, are they somewhere else and you're not going to really see them until maybe after the weigh-in or something like that? How do you how are you managing that? What kind of fighter are you during the week when it comes to that type of energy around you?
Yeah. Well, as far as family that's back home and stuff, I am a little bit reserved this week, just because I'm locked in. You know what I mean? I'm not really having conversations with anyone. Yeah, I'll check in, text here and there, but there's no time for conversations because if I'm not training, then I'm eating, and then I'm back in my room, finding inspiration and motivation to lock in. Like, this is my time for me. I find a lot of I find comfort in being by myself in these times, and really focusing on aligning myself. Um, but whenever I do need that support, my whole team is here in this house. Right now I'm renting Airbnbs, but it's a big house. My whole team is here, and that's the support I need when I need to feel, uh, like I'm leading the pack. You know what I mean? So like when my team is here, I have that. But they know that when my room door is closed, they don't come. They don't open that shit because they know what I'm in there doing. So
Right.
that's what's happening this week. I really enjoy the atmosphere on fight week when the cameras are around, because I feel like it fuels that like that animalistic nature that I feel like I need to have this week,
Right.
and it just comes out naturally. So like it's just cool. Like, we're here now. This whole 7-8 weeks that I've been in this camp, locking in mentally, it's all for this moment. And I like the stimulation, and it just brings the best out of me. To be honest, it does.
You guys have a press conference lined up for this week?
Yeah, I believe it's Thursday.
Thursday. And then weigh-ins on Friday. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's how
No,
they do it.
weigh-ins Saturday. Friday is a day,
Oh,
an
Sunday's
off
when you're
day.
fighting. I'm tripping. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I'm tripping.
I'm
My bad, bro.
surprised the press conference not Friday, but I don't know. They want to give
It
us a
is what it
Friday
is.
off from media stuff. That's better for me.
Listen, you're gonna be the co-headliner on this one, bro. It's gonna be everybody's gonna be in the building watching, man. I'm looking forward to see it. I know Angela's about to say something, but definitely good luck to you. I'm optimistic about Julian Rodriguez, but I like the way you give it up in the ring, and I think this fight right here, hopefully we get to see. It doesn't look like James Perella is really going to be pressuring you as bad as Cain was, so we'll get to see those wrinkles. You know what I'm saying, and see you kind of be able to not have to just deal with all that nonsense and just really be able to get in your game and get in your bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, Julian, I feel like you're definitely very locked in, and from what we saw off of your last two fights, you're all heart, man. You're all heart, and I feel like you're in a better place than you've been in so long, bro. So feels like UFC PI is treating you well. You got your team locked in. My last question was, is this the first time? Because you said you're gonna be flying in the kids, right? That your son's gonna be coming to watch you. Is this the first time he's gonna get to see you like in this setting, co-main event, the whole bit? And does he see it like that? Like, oh my God, daddy, like I'm just wondering.
No, I don't think he sees it that way. He's been fucking coming to all these events as soon as I shot him out my balls. But to be honest, like he's so cool, man. That little kid is so cool. He's so calm and collected. He's not moved by any of that stuff. He's really just there for me. If I'm locked in, he's on my time. When it's time to laugh and be sentimental, he's on my time. Like he's really just an extension of me. And it's good because I don't have to be like, hey, stop, doing that, or stop rolling around on the floor. Like this isn't a time for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like I don't need to worry about that because when he comes over here, he knows what time it is. And when I'm in New Jersey, he's attached to me like by the hip, bro. So like it's almost like he really feels what's at stake. So he's probably nervous before the fight. He's probably locked in also when I'm locked in. When he comes over here and everyone's moving the way we're moving, it's inevitable to feel it to that in that regard, to that degree. So he goes with the flow with the team. I pull a lot from him, like even unintentionally or subconsciously, I pull from him. I know my son is here, and there's a sense of comfort knowing that he's here with me, and also a lot of motivation. And also, I want him to go through these things and learn about what his dad went through in his life, is going through in his life, the lessons that he's learning in this moment, the lessons I'm learning in these moments. And then when we're in Jersey, I talk back with him, and I whip around this Corvette around looking at all these big buildings and stuff. And I talk to him like, you see, this is hard work. There's been times we were extremely down and out, and he was right there with me, the same. So it's really, I really put this, like, I really make a lot of lessons out of all the ups and downs of my life. And I present it to him in a way where he can grow from it and learn more about where he comes from, who his dad is, and in return, he'll learn more about himself as he gets older. Um, I realized a lot about myself when I started studying my parents and studying how they were raised and what lessons in life they went through and things. So I'm just paying it forward and prioritizing those things for my children. And he's taken it very well. Like I said, I think he's the coolest kid I know. Lives the coolest life, and he could be over here in Vegas taking pictures with Dana White and Habib
Good.
Nurmagomedov and all these
Yeah.
big fighters and stuff. And then he goes home and doesn't tell a soul about what he went through. I'm like, dude,
Oh, so he ain't flexing?
yo, he does not flex. I'm like, bro, you have no idea what you're sitting on right now, bro.
Let these know you lit, young bull. Let them know you lit out here, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, though, that I respect because he doesn't need to flex. He knows already.
Yeah,
he knows what we're on. You know what I mean? So
he's built for this.
and
He's built for this.
he really is, man. So when he goes home, I'm like, do your friends know like that you were? And they're like, I don't know. I think so. I'm like, bro, put this shit on your TikTok, man. Like, what?
You
You
need to
know,
throw him a little
it's
barbecue or something. Bring his friends over, bro, and
yeah,
kind of help him
yeah,
with the flex, Julian. Help him out. Like, let me show you how flex a
yeah.
little bit. I don't know, you don't need it, but let me put some game on you, bro. You need to let
Yeah,
these.
I'll put it on a slideshow and like just have it playing like for his
Yeah,
friends to see, you know what I mean? Or
let him know.
something like that. But it's all jokes aside, man, he's just really there for me. It's not for him. He's not sitting there flexing, look at my dad or look what I'm doing. Like
Right.
he's cool, man. He's really cool.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, I have the same relationship with my daughter too. She's more outgoing. She's the one that
Okay.
would be like, "Look at
She's
my
flexing.
dad," you know.
She's flexing.
She's
Yeah.
the
All right.
and she does that. She's like, "Do you watch my dad's YouTube? Go on YouTube right now." And she tells like grown adults to go and like look at my fights on highlights. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. But I
Yeah.
have the best of both worlds when it comes to my kids. My son is more introverted athlete, and my daughter is very personable, and that little girl is going to be an entertainer. And I
Oh,
think I have both of that. Like I love the arts, I love music, I love entertainment, the entertainment industry, film, things like that. And she
huh.
definitely picked that up. And my son has picked up the deep thinker and the athleticism and things like that. So I really have the best of both with my children.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
Hey, Julian, one last
Yeah.
question. I know you got to go, but are you, because I know you were working on your music the last time we talked to you. Are you coming out to your own song or your own produced music, or how's it going to happen this time around?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I
He's an
I mess
R&B
around
singer,
with the
man.
music right now, like on my off time or when I feel like I need it. Like my room in my Airbnb, I have a whole studio set up in
Yeah.
there. I could record a song right now and release it on Spotify tonight if I wanted to. But
Wait. So
um,
you have okay. So that's interesting. I don't want to hold you up, but you're in training camp. You're getting ready for this fight, and you're like, let me see. Food check, team check. You know what I mean? All these things check, and studio check. Like that's got to come with you. Like
yeah, I need to have things in place in case I want to pull from there. In
okay,
case like I get home from the gym and let's say we had a late training session. I can't just go right to bed. I'm not built that way. Like my adrenaline is pumping. I'm creative and things like that, or I'm feeling creative. So like I might sit at the desk and like create something for 30 minutes to an hour. And it'll do the job for me to be like, all right, cool, ready to bed. I'm ready for bed now. I like to exercise different parts of the brain. But it's crazy because when I first got over here to Vegas, I was kind of tapping in and I was feeling that vibe. And then as soon as I set up my whole studio in the room, I didn't touch it one time. Like I just been so occupied with the
right,
training and then locking in mentally and my spirituality and things like that. Like there's no time for the music. So as ideally, like as much as I think I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, maybe I'll do the music for a little bit. It's been in my room waiting for me, and I haven't
right.
touched it in weeks. But at least it's there. Maybe it's a mind trick that I play on myself. Like, all right, it's here whenever I want it, and then like I never use it because I'm so locked in. So it's just I don't know. I'm not. I'll be here for a week after the fight. Maybe I'll wind down and
Okay.
do some music on my own, but it's not really a necessity or something I'm actually even focused on. I really just do it for like therapeutic reasons. That's it
Mm,
right there. It's just for therapy if I need it,
Oh yeah,
you
oh
know.
yeah. You're
yeah.
talking about
But
dialing in before, so whatever it takes to dial. I don't want to hold jokes. I know Dmitry gonna cuss me out. I know he about ready. He's probably looking at me like, "I told you, man. We got to get this man. Look at him. I told you, man. We got to get this. Don't do this to me, Clay. I told you."
no,
Come
we're
on,
good.
hey
We're good.
Dimitri, we give the best interviews, bro.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah, man. You know
Julian.
we gonna hold on
Don't
Dmitry.
mess with us.
Oh,
We give the
listen, I'm
best
right here,
interviews.
bro. Listen, you guys are the best. He has a long list of things to critique from you guys, so be fucking ready.
Nah, no.
No, I'm just
Listen,
kidding.
man.
I'm
I'm,
just
I'm
kidding. I'm
happy.
just
I'm
kidding.
happy to get the moment to speak to you. You know what I mean, and get personal with you like this. But more importantly, it is this fight, man. It's a big weekend. A great card, by the way, all around great card. You're part of the card that makes it great. But I mean, the cards are getting more and more stacked. I want to talk to you more after the fight. I hope we get opportunity to talk to you after the fight because I don't
Yeah,
want to
for
get you
sure.
out of fight mode. And I know you're dialed in because there's things I want to talk about as far as Zufa, as far as the congressional hearing that happened, as far as the new signings with Hitchinson, and I have questions about the sanctioning body. It just seems like Zufa is opening up a lot more than what I thought they were going to open up to, and I'm interested in how that impacts you and what things have maybe have opened up for you on the back end of these developments. Conor Ben fighting Ryan Garcia potentially for a WBC
I'm
title.
just letting you know they're definitely they still got training wheels on, brother.
Yeah,
they still have their training wheels on, and the things that I'm hearing, you're gonna see even in the next 6 months. Like they're gonna take over boxing, and they have the power to do it, and that's their intention for the greater good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know it's gonna happen, especially just looking at this welterweight division where it is right now, and there's things that I'm sure me and Coach Angelo have heard that you're gonna see even in the next 3 months that you're like, all right, this is undeniable at this point. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing, man.
That's
definitely what I'm seeing.
I don't want to fast track you, Julian, but I would absolutely love to have you be a part of the July 12th card. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nah, man, I'm definitely interested in getting some takes from you on what you're seeing and how you're feeling about all these movements and all these things. Just seems to be, I'm going to say, evolving. You know what I'm saying? Things are evolving into something better and better. You know what I mean? Sky Sports, I want to talk to you about that, how you feel about that, the addition of Sky Sports and all those things. But this week, it's about the fight, man. Win, baby, win. You know what I'm saying? With how that song goes, you know what I mean? How that song go? Win, baby, win. Is that how the song goes by the dude from LA? I don't know, bro. Just win. You know what I'm saying? This one,
yes, sir.
You got to do, brother. Dial in,
That's
man.
the goal.
Right?
Yes, sir. It's always a pleasure being on here, man. Thank you guys so much, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back to training, bro. Back to game. Dmitry, I'm letting him go. He's gone.
Thank you,
Dmitry.
He's
yours again. He's gone again.
Thank you, Dmitry.
Hands off. Talk to you soon, dude.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah, man. We could hold him all day, man. He's a great interview. He's a great conversation always, bro. So it's just like I be feeling bad because he don't know we get abusive.
Yeah, no, we can keep him. Yeah, no, Julian, I feel like we could talk to him about his family, his kids, his upbringing, all day. But it is fight week, right? And usually during this time, Clay, they go like interview to interview. They go, like it's pretty set up. But guys, definitely check out Zuffa Boxing 6. It's this Sunday, Paramount Plus. It's going to be starting at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's the prelims. Julian Rodriguez will be on the main card. He is the co-main event. And like I've said before, they're already running all the different ads on UFC Brazil, UFC Europe. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool. It's a great card. It's a great card. You guys are going to get a chance to see the French youth IBO champ Raphael Moni from France. He's going to be he's got the Jaleel Hackett spot. He's the main event of the prelims. You're going to see my favorite heavyweight, the kid, the Moses Itama of America, Damazian Van Houter.
Is Jaleel on this one?
What's that? No. Jaleel fight. Jaleel's fight's going to be big, Clay. Jaleel fight going to be big. That I can't say nothing, but it's coming up.
Okay. Because I'm about to say we didn't even get the announcement. We ain't get nothing. I'm feeling
no. We need to get we got to get our Zufa contact together. But yeah, the opener is the kid that was supposed to fight on the last card, Emiliano Alvarado. He's on. James Perella, Julian Rodriguez, Sergey Boachuk versus Shane Mosley. Why am I missing the opener? The opener is a really good. Oh, it's that's why Juliel's name pops up in my head. The opener, Claymore, is Misael Rodriguez versus, and you'll remember him because he won his belt at the OTX event that doesn't exist anymore now. We spoke to Mike Leon about this. It's Andres Katsourakis making his Zufa debut as the opener against Misael Rodriguez. And one of those guys, or either one, will probably eventually have to fight Jaleel at some point. So yeah, man, it's a great card. It's a fire card.
I'm hoping I can, because it's Sunday night and now my work schedule changed again where it's Sunday night. So I don't know what time it starts. What time's the card start again?
So it's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern your time when the prelims hit until obviously late, right? Because the main card's not going to be until I want to say 5
like
p.m.
8,
7
9,
p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m.
7.
Eastern.
So probably be done by like 10, 10:30.
Yeah. I would think Julian's probably walking in at about 8. Because they usually try to finish by 9. They usually at least try to have the last fight start by 9 p.m. Eastern. So it would go 7, 8, 9.
I might cover it. Maybe if I could, I might cover it. You know what I mean? It's Sunday night for me. So usually that wouldn't be a problem. Normally I'm always available for that. But anyway, hey, bro, it is what it is, man. This weekend was a lot of boxing going on.
Yeah.
But without a doubt, David Benavidez is viral right now.
Right.
He is all over the place. The highlight knockout, I don't know if it was like, you know what I mean, the crazy left hook, the combination punching. Listen, going into this fight, we said we were expecting to see David Benavidez probably win the fight. You know what I mean? Zurdo Ramirez, we thought would give him some real adversity. We wanted to see how he was going to be. Was he going to be on his back foot? Was Zurdo going to be able to take him into the late rounds? Zurdo just ended up being somebody who looked like he didn't belong in the ring with David Benavidez. Let's be honest.
Right. Right.
Being somebody who didn't belong in the ring with him. But David Benavidez really shook up the algorithm. I mean,
well,
people are talking about this guy on the pound. I was talking to Ray Davis earlier today, and I told him that people all around the space are talking about pound for pound conversations. They want him to be at number 1. And you know, it's like I went on Najee on, I think it was Sunday, whenever he goes. I think it was yesterday.
No, we recorded our Read the Ring. You guys should check it out. We're already getting a ton of feedback on that. It premiered this morning. You went on Najee after we did the Read the Ring.
Right. So I'm talking to Najee, right? And Najee is like, listen, I'm not ready for number 1, right? He's like, I'm not ready for that. But he is very impressed with the performance and feels like a lot of people and people I respect in the game. My guy Keon, Everything Boxing, is like, this guy's the number 1 guy in the world. The consensus at the end of the day is, more than it being a pound for pound thing, is that David Benavidez is the most dangerous fighter on the planet right now. On the planet right now, he is the most dangerous. He is the most violent. He is the boogeyman of boxing, and I'm not upset at that, right? I'm not upset at that. Coming off of a beat down like that, I'm not upset at that. And it's kind of like he's always been called the monster, right? Mike Tyson gave him that name. He's always been the monster. We just didn't know if it was just because he was bigger than everybody else or whether or not he was really like that. I feel like Saturday that happened. I feel like Saturday he kind of put some of it to rest, to be like, yeah, I'm bigger than a lot of people I was fighting at 168, but at 175 and definitely at cruiserweight, I'm not bigger than everybody. I'm the same size or smaller. The reality is I'm really just like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just a problem for anybody. You're not convinced. You don't feel like that.
No, and to be fair, guys, this is why we like to put ourselves on record, right? So if you look back, I want to say it's 4 weeks ago, me and Clay are doing a live. And even Claymore during that live looks at me and goes, man, you just really don't like Zurdo. And I was basically telling everyone, Zurdo is Mario Barrios at cruiserweight, right? And again, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but my biggest problem with Zurdo Ramirez was, this is a guy who had an opportunity to fight Jai Opetaia and kept finding reasons to avoid it, to the point of even doing a face-off with Jake Paul. Because the one thing Zurdo knew was, well, I need a payday, right? He needed a payday, and he also knew at that time Jai Opetaia wasn't going to be the payday. So then he chose to avoid fighting the best in order for him to secure the payday. And this just, Claymore, guys, as you know, he's not trying to cut down fighters. He's building them up. And all the things that Claymore said was all fair, right? Even at plus 475, even Clay had to put a little money on Zurdo just in case. You just never know, right? But at the end of the day, guys, what happened is exactly what I said would happen from 4 weeks ago. I said that's what would happen. So do I give credit to David Benavidez for that, Clay? You know I have a hard time doing that. Because what I will give David Benavidez credit for, chat, and everybody who's listening on the replay gang is he fast, Clay? Yes, he is. Is he like Honda fast, right? Okay, great. Awesome. So fast, in fact, that elbows get in there and most people don't even see it. So, he's that quick.
I saw those elbows and I don't feel like listen, he's punching inside, you know what I'm saying? And he's making space so that he can get those hooks across. He's punching short and he's punching tight. I've seen people get hit with that type of stuff all the time. That's just part of the game. I don't feel like he was throwing elbows. People are trying to paint this picture like this dude's out here throwing Muay Thai elbows.
Look. Okay, I'll defend it and say that would Zurdo Ramirez have gotten beaten up without the elbows? Absolutely, he would have. Zurdo was not ready. In fact, I'm gonna tell you a funny ass story, bro. So I make a bet because you make a bet too, and I make a bet. My wife's looking at me and she looks at the corner. She goes, "Is that Julian Chua?" Right? And then I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "You didn't tell me that Julian Chua." And Malik Scott is in the corner. Man, I'm so mad at you for making that bet. It is, and even this is, come on, Clay. You know what I mean, right? That cornering was diabolical. Where was the ice? That was just no bueno, guys. No bueno on the cornering. I'm not going to reveal to you what Clay has told me in private, but let's just say that shout out to Malik Scott for being a great analyst on Inside the Ring. All right,
Malik Scott is a great analyst on Inside the Ring, bro. I want to make sure that is said, man. I'm not liking what's happening with him in fighters right now. I'm not liking it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even, listen, I'm be real with you. I'm not even that critical of what they did with Zurdo because I went back and I listened and they were telling him to slow it down, to stay behind the jab, that he didn't have to get inside and get into those fights with Zurdo wasn't listening. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. That's what I saw. But at the end of the day, I can remember holding Derrick James accountable, right? To,
yes.
Derrick, remember, I used to hold Derrick James accountable and be like, listen, bro, his fighters are going rogue in the ring. They're going rogue. And I know the space wanted to hold the fighters accountable, which they should be, right? They're not taking instructions. But I also said that if the chemistry isn't there, if the dynamic doesn't make sense, you need to be able to get your fighters' attention, and you need to be able to control that. If you're not, then there's a problem in the training. There's a disconnect there. Your fighter should be dialed in with you, constantly dealing. It's like a child. If I take my kid, and I don't want to compare a fighter to a child, but I'm just going to say, if I take my kid out, let's say you're having a party at your house, Ray, right, for your kid. And I bring my kid over there and he's touching stuff and breaking stuff and moving around. No matter how much I'm like, hey, stop. Hey, sit down. Hey, you're going to look at it like, bro, what are you teaching him at home, bro? Why is he such a damn wild kid, bro? Like, I don't care how much I see you here in front of me screaming at him, telling him to sit down. Thank you, by the way, I guess, because you're not just openly letting him tear my house up. But what kind of setting do you have at your house that this is what he does? And are you dealing with this all the time? Like, you know what I mean?
Crazy, right?
I'm gonna look at the parent. Be like, I don't care, bro. I know the kid is being bad, but you raising him. So,
right.
We saw in this fight that Zurdo Ramirez doesn't have faith in his corner. He doesn't listen or take instructions from his corner. He does his own thing. Very similar to a Teofimo Lopez and his father, right? Does his own thing. Very similar to a lot of things that we see in life. And we know what the writing on the wall is. Writing on the wall is this guy is not either coachable or he doesn't have faith in the team. You guys are too friendly with him. Like parents go, I'm not your friend. Like, I'm not my kid's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool until I'm not cool. Like, the reality is the consistent thing is don't play with me like I'm one of your friends. It's always understood, right?
Yep.
And if you see Zurdo doing that, it is what it is. Walking like a duck, quacking like a duck. It is what it is. Ray Davis, what's good with you, brother?
What's going on, man? Listen, I'm glad the space is speaking up for me. I'm just kidding. Let's get
No, they are. Listen, they're not speaking up for you, but there's a lot of people who feel the way you feel.
Ray, you're the voice of the people that are out there that are all of y'all, by the way. I'm including everybody who's doing this. Yeah. The fact that you're not talking about Naoya Inoue being the #1 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, man, that's just some Asian hate going on.
Oh, I don't love that. I don't love that.
I can say that, man.
I don't love that, bro. Let me tell you why I don't love that.
Bro,
Because
hate for my people, Ray Davis.
First of all, you're
You ain't
Filipino. We
Japanese,
already
man.
know
Get outta
half your
here.
island is black, so
You
we're not
barely
going
Asian.
there.
You Filipino. You Asian one week, you're Latino the next week, bro. You don't know what the hell you want to be, bro. They can do whatever the hell they feel like in the Philippines. They can be whatever the hell they feel like.
But listen, check this out. It's so funny that you say that, right? I was I tell you where I'm in disagreement because I think on certain things. I don't believe the fact that Benavidez is the boogeyman. Let me be clear on that. Because I've never seen, besides Canelo Alvarez, anybody refuse to fight him. Everyone's taking the opportunity to get in the ring with him. He's never had a point where people don't want to fight him. He calls out people. They're like, okay, I'm ready. You know what I mean? And it's people that we believe as fans he won't fight at one point. And I told you that he made up my mind because I seen him go after everybody that we said he wouldn't fight. So that doesn't show me he's a boogeyman. What it does show me is that he's probably the most warrior-like fighter I think we have today. Okay, there we go. I think we could even consider that even with the case of other fighters that have that warrior instinct. And I think I mentioned Shakur in that conversation, me and Clay had this conversation. I think Devin in that conversation. We have a few fighters that have to talk about others too. Like there's a lot of fighters that are willing to fight. Dula Mason, for instance. Bring them on. Let's do it. And I like that part. Now, when it comes to me having my consensus, I think I'm leaning towards, I'm not changing anything. I think I am going to lean towards more because that conversation was so deep the other day with him being number one in the world right now.
Yeah.
My pound for pound is going to be my pound for pound because that's an opinionated thing. Yeah. But number one in the world, definitely going to go with that because I think there's no one I don't believe he can beat. And I think I said Jai is going to be his toughest test to date. If he gets in the ring with Jai, that's the only fighter I think that has a strong chance of beating him and maybe wiping that 0 off his board. Everybody else, food, easy. I don't even see a competition for him.
So Ray, my only pushback to that is the classic Coach Angelo Reyes at ATP Combat Media, right? We don't know what we don't know, Ray. We don't know what we don't know. And I can tell you right now, brother, there are a lot of Eastern Europeans and Russians looking at David Benavidez as food for Bivol, bro. They're looking at him like, oh my God, I can't believe you're trying to get this fight. Now, me personally, I don't really, I'm only going to support that because I got to believe what the fighter says. And David Benavidez keeps asking for Bivol. So that's cool, man. You want to go after the older guy? That's fine. But if you really want to be about it, then don't play around like Zurdo or all these other people that have been ducking Jai Opetaia for the last. They've been ducking Jai Opetaia since he was 25 years old, bro. That's diabolical. All right. The guy doesn't turn 30 and still has already broken David Hayes' record, Evander Holyfield's record, Usyk's record at cruiserweight. I can literally make an argument to say that Jai Opetaia is the same in terms of what is David Benavidez's greatest accomplishment? The fact that Canelo Alvarez was scared of him. Yeah. Well, you know what Jai Opetaia's greatest accomplishment is? Everyone, Ray Davis, everyone is scared of him. Everybody. So when I hear David Benavidez, recently, by the way, your guy, your pound for pound number one, saying shit like, well, I don't know, man, that Zufa thing. Shut the fuck up, bro, and just take the fight. All right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Jai Opetaia is sitting there going, I'll take whatever. I don't care. B-side money. Doesn't matter. Does not matter to me. I will make the same $3 million to whoop David Benavidez's ass just so that I could prove to everybody and they can all finally shut the fuck up that Jai Opetaia should already have been on the pound for pound list. That's how the Polynesians are moving, bro. That's how the Samoans are moving. That's how all of Australia is moving. So I'm just saying, if your boy ducks that guy,
I am with that.
Talk is coming.
Now I want to tap in, right? Because I got to be the voice of reason and I got to make it make sense. Because last time I checked, David Benavidez did not get an offer from Jai Opetaia. Dana White did not offer him the fight. He does not have a fight that he's turning down. There is no fight. I just feel like at the end of the day, David Benavidez has proven with his track record that he don't turn down no smoke, bro. That is not a problem for David Benavidez. That's part of the whole entire love for him that the space has. That's part of the whole thing about him, is that he's always trying to fight the biggest fights. He's always trying to fight the hardest fights. He's the one walking around screaming for Dmitry Bivol. He's showing up to Saudi Arabia. He's spoken and been outspoken, said, I've sparred that guy. He know what's up with me. Dmitry vacated the WBC title and didn't fight him. He's not a cruiserweight fighter. He just went up there and beat up on Zurdo Ramirez and picked up a title. He ain't been ducking Jai Opetaia. He ain't had an opportunity to fight Jai Opetaia. He didn't duck unifying against Jai Opetaia. So no, I'm not going to allow the narrative to be that if this guy don't fight Jai Opetaia next, that this guy's scared, that he don't want no smoke with him. That's just not proven in how he's moving. Now, I can hear the passion in wanting to see Jai Opetaia get a fight so he can be vindicated, so he can prove himself finally, because he can't get the signature fights he wants. But it doesn't necessarily mean that David Benavidez has to be the next guy that fights him, because David don't owe that man shit, right? Like, David's like, hey, bro, last time I checked, I went from 168 to 175, picked up a belt, Dmitry Bivol ducking. I came here to fight Zurdo. Now all of a sudden, I owe you something? Send me the offer if it's like that. Make it make sense. Bring it to my lawyers. If Dana's the one with the bag, if Turkey's the one with the bag, make it on paper. Show me the money. But you want me to send him the offer?
No. To respond, Clay, and that is extremely fair. But you, sir, Claymore Rain, are the one that sent me a video with David Benavidez talking about Jai Opetaia. I never even wanted to really hear him say the words Jai Opetaia. Did you remember what I said on the live? I said, keep Jai Opetaia's name out your mouth. Keep it out your mouth, bro. Do what Chris Legg is saying, right? Chris Legg talking about how he talked to you and you said you were going to go down to 175. Cool, baby. And on our Read the Ring series, Clay, how fair was I on to Read the Ring? I defended David Benavidez on our Read the Ring. You guys should check it out. It premiered earlier this morning. It's on the video section. I defended Ray Davis's pound for pound #1. I said, hey, man, that's cool. And I want to see you fight Bivol next, mainly because you're saying you want to fight Bivol next, because you've never even gotten a Ring Magazine Lineal Championship. All right? Cool. But keep Jai Opetaia's name out your mouth, because the minute you start saying that shit, my point of contention #2, Clay, is in the next 2 weeks, bro, an offer is coming. When that offer comes, I don't want to hear you, Ray Davis. I don't want to hear you, Claymore Ray. Start talking to me about how no offer came, bro.
That's fantasy. When it happens, it happens.
All right.
But it hasn't happened now.
I'm just going to say, bro, when it happens.
All the passion ain't no passion. Ain't nothing to be passionate about, because at the end of the day, Zuffa Boxing, like Julian Rodriguez will say, is evolving. They're on their training wheels. There's a lot of things that they've done that just ain't been clear. They haven't been clear. And fighters haven't been clear about what they're doing. The sanctioning bodies aren't clear about what they're doing. Promoters ain't clear, because Dana made a lot of statements before Zufa rolled out about how he's going to carry it, and it doesn't necessarily match up with the way things are moving. So David Benavidez, who has a whole career right now, who's finally got this whole entire movement going on right now, doesn't need to put his eggs in the basket of something he doesn't understand. Last time he checked, Zuffa Boxing weren't messing with sanctioning bodies. Maybe even more importantly, last time we checked, sanctioning bodies ain't messing with Zuffa. David Benavidez ain't on the fence. He's made it very clear. I'm over here, bro. I'm WBA, that's WBC, fine. WBO, IBF. Fine. That's what I'm on. So fine. At a minimum, before the passion goes up and before the chat feels like do this, do that, Dana, do the work. 2 things. A, send the offer. Make it make sense. Okay. B, have a press conference and please clarify what we're looking at when we see you putting a fight, trying to put a fight together for a WBC title. Please clarify. Edgar Berlanga saying that he wants all the belts. Please sit down and clarify this next chapter that Zufa is going into, so that fighters like David Benavidez can see where they fit into the picture, and maybe even more importantly than fighters like David Benavidez figuring it out, Fighters like Jai Opetaia don't have to be stripped. They don't have to look like they froze themselves out. This is across the board. I saw Bernie, the boxer, Bernie's a big supporter of Zuffa Boxing, right? He's sitting there talking, doing an interview yesterday with Mill City. And what does he say in the interview? If you go over to Zuffa Boxing and you want to become a unified or undisputed champion, you're freezing yourself out of the game. I'm going to tell you who he's training right now. He's training, he has a fighter over there right now at Zuffa Boxing, but that's what his understanding is of it, right? So these are people who are even involved with you who are confused about what their fighters can or cannot do. So once Zuffa clarifies that, then David, who sat there and said it clearly, I don't really know what they're doing over there. I don't understand what they're doing over there. It feels like, hold on. It seems like, well, like he said, I don't know what's going on over there. It seems like they don't want to mess with the sanctioning bodies, and I'm about the sanctioning body. He said it clearly. He said, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. He says, but it seems like they don't mess with us. I'm with them. I'm not over there. So I'm not. What did he say to cap it off? I don't want to fight for no Zuffa belt. He made it clear. I'm not fighting for no Zuffa belt. So that's fine. That's where the confusion's at. Until that, so I don't want to David Benavidez.
No, I don't want to further confuse the people, Ray Davis, and I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a lot to say. But I don't want to further confuse people, Clay, because I don't want certain narratives. And I'm not saying you're the one giving out the narrative, but they need to know the facts. Fact of the matter is, the mandatory for Ryan Garcia is Conor Benn. And Mauricio Suleiman is already playing games talking about changing this guy is changing the rules of the mandatory so that there doesn't have to be a purse bid. All right, now, again, if that happens, I'll speak on that later. But in the cruiserweight division, Claymore, you know who the #1 mandatory is for the WBA? It's Jai Opetaia. And if the WBA president gets in the way, which I don't think he will, Gilberto, you're a good dude. I know you pay to play, bro, so you ain't getting in the way of this one. If a purse bid offer goes in and Zuffa wins it, and you know they will because PBC ain't got that type of money, now we can talk, Clay, because that would be a real offer. A purse bid would be a real offer. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, Ray Davis, about your pound-for-pound #1 best fighter, all right? If David Benavidez does the Sebastian Fundura and drops the WBA, bro, I don't ever want to hear either of you ever tell me again that Jai Opetaia isn't being done because your best pound-for-pound fighter dropped a sanctioning belt just to avoid him. Boom. Go ahead, Ray Davis.
Wait, Ray, before you go, right?
No, go ahead. You got to clean.
The passion behind, because what it is, what I hear is you think you know David Benavidez and you feel like it's one move away that you're going to prove something about him that you don't know because you're so caught up on making him fight Jai Opetaia, a fighter who has never been on his radar. He's not a cruiserweight. He just got there, and you want to take out the whole entire cruiserweight division, ducking this dude, Zurdo ducking this dude, and you want to put it all on David Benavidez's shoulder.
Sir.
No, the reality is he hasn't vacated the belt. The reality is he hasn't received the offer.
I know. That's why I said if.
So why even if? Because it
no,
don't even
because
make no
I already
sense
said, like, look, man, like you
carry it that way. He makes
no, exactly. What I'm trying to say is that okay,
this will be the first time he's ever ducked a fight in his career that we know it. So how does this jacket even come up as possibly fitting on him when he doesn't even have a track record of moving like that?
Right, and I agree with you on all those points except for one thing. Like I said, do you literally hear me on record? Everybody, please check out Read the Ring, episode 12.
No, forget
you
Read
hear
the Ring.
This
here
guy
on this platform
literally. No. I'm just saying. Listen, no, bro, no. You can't do that.
Fighting.
You can't say that I'm calling. I know.
No, wait. Don't go back and refer to something you said in a video.
No, because today, I am telling you. Today I said.
Because it doesn't matter.
Oh, my God. You're not even letting me finish the point.
You can't ride the fence on this.
I'm not riding the fence.
No, you are. Right. Hold on.
Hey, I'm not riding the fence.
Because it's like going like this, right? This guy, nobody wants to fight Jai Opetaia, but I said before, though, hey man, I'm giving him the
That's
benefit of the
crazy,
doubt. I'm
That's
giving him
crazy.
the benefit of the doubt. But yo, don't tell me nothing about this guy because that's why
Hey,
you're going back
look,
because
ask me, go ahead. No, Clay, let's make it a direct. No, Clay, you know what? No, Ray, no, he's like, no, because he's doing that, right? Okay,
Yeah,
Clay, ask me a direct question. No, hold on, Ray, hold on. No, Claymore, ask me a direct question. Ask me the direct question on who I would like to see David Benavidez fight next. Go ahead, ask me the direct question.
Oh, I know you're going to say Dmitry Bivol.
Exactly, because I already said Dmitry Bivol, because he said Dmitry Bivol. Bro, what I'm trying to talk about is the fact that you sent me a video of him talking about Jai. And I'm saying he didn't have to answer it that way, bro. He did not have to answer. Look, I'm going to be, hey, listen. I'm going to be, hey, Ray, I'll be David Benavidez for you. I'll be David Benavidez for you.
While you're doing that, I'm going to grab the video and pull it up.
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead. Hey, listen.
If you post in that video that David Benavidez was calling out Jai Opetaia or talking about fighting him and not answering a question that somebody asked him about Jai Opetaia and
pull up the video. Go ahead, bro. Pull it up. Pull it up. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Ray Davis. This would have been. Hey, listen. No. Let me talk. Like, go find the damn video. Pull it up.
I'm pulling up the video. Okay.
No, go ahead. Pull it up, Ray. Here's what Angelo was saying. That David Benavidez should have answered when that question got asked.
Oh, you can't tell that man what to answer.
When the question got asked, what I would have wanted him to say is something like this. You know what, guys? I just dominated a person that's a unified champion, and I've already told you that my next move was to move down to become the undisputed champion at 175 pounds. If the Jai Opetaia fight shows up, then that's something we can talk about later, right? He spent the time, Ray, talking about Zufa and how Jai Opetaia should have never signed to Zufa, and that's messing up the whole thing. And don't say that he didn't say that shit, because I will find video of him actually saying that Jai Opetaia should have never signed to Zufa. He was doing it with Dan Canobio right before the fight, bro. He was straight up saying you should have never signed to Zufa.
I'm ready. Okay. All right. One thing about me, I ain't gotta do all that screaming, bro. It's all good. At the end of the day,
I know, but bro.
You don't gotta keep going. You landed it, bro. That's all good. I'm talking. It's cool. I heard you. You ain't gotta land it again. You landed it already. So I'm gonna pull up a video, right? David Benavidez was asked a question by somebody, one of Blue Bud's friends, I can't remember his name, about Jai Opetaia. Here is what he said. Hold on 1 second here. Here is what he said.
Jai Opetaia, how important is it for you to get a chance to fight him without all the red tape in the way?
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division, you know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zufa. We could have made this fight right after this one, you know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zufa title. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter. And I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen because, you know, we can't make no fights in Zufa.
So that's what I wanted to secondarily ask was that, do you feel like fighters are losing their power by going over to Zufa?
I think that, I mean, yeah, I think they definitely are losing the power. I mean, it's just a lot of politics in that. You know, I think Dana White has showed that he doesn't want to do fights with PBC, DAZN. And I don't want to even feel like, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting him, but that's just what it looks like from the outside. If we could come to an agreement and make a big fight, let's do it.
Boom. So now, what is he saying? Hold on. What is he saying? What is he saying? He's made it as clear as he can make it. That fight is a big fight. He's not in the dark about the impact of the fight, about Jai Opetaia's talent, but he's being very clear, and it's that simple. And I've sat here on shows and talked about the confusion about what Zufa is doing with the sanctioning bodies. The fighters are on the same page. it's way easier to sit out here and paint this dude as somebody who is making excuses when the whole entire boxing space is sitting here saying the same thing. People who do not have anything against Zufa, people that I know who are in the game who have nothing against Zufa, who are like, I thought they weren't messing with the sanctioning bodies. So what's going on now? And what is David Benavidez saying? He even said, I don't even want to disrespect nobody. He said it. I don't want to disrespect Dana and what they're doing over there, but he said from the outside looking in, that is a man who got a lot of shit to do, who don't got time to deal with red tape and reading in between the lines. What's the easiest thing for it to happen for everybody inside the chat that's talking, for everybody who's talking, is for Dana White to send an offer to David Benavidez where his team can read it and it can be made clear on how this fight can be made. Like he said, if the fight can be made, I don't know. He said we can make that fight. We could have made that fight next, right after this fight. That man is a man who has never shown an ounce of ducking smoke. He's never done it, bro. So we're going to play this game where there's no contract sent, no offer sent. We're going to keep on playing this game that David Benavidez is making excuses to not fight, to not fight Jai Opetaia. Even when we hear him saying that, I see it in there, quack, quack, quack. Really? How? What did you see in that statement that said duck? How?
There's nothing there that says that.
It's
clear.
Nothing.
It's clear.
This is just hype and passion behind Jai Opetaia not being able to get a fight, behind him getting stripped by the IBF, behind him being the guinea pig, getting caught up in the politics of Zuffa Boxing and the sanctioning bodies. He's stuck in the middle, trying to figure shit out. He's confused and don't understand what's going on. He's just trying to walk with him, be like, all right, man, you say you got me, but they done strip me from my belt, bro. Yeah, that's them. We're going to sue them. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I don't know what's going on over there, right? But why in the world would a fighter like David Benavidez, who's on the brink of being the face of boxing, voluntarily get mixed up with that shit? If I was David Benavidez's manager, I'd be like, bro, we ain't dealing with that right now. We don't even know what's going. We don't even know what's going on over there, bro. Let them figure that out. Let this Ali act go through. Let them make an official statement. Let's see how they're going to deal with it, because last time I checked, we can pull up video of Dana saying, I will not recognize the sanctioning bodies. And that's why the IBF pulled that down for them, is because their butt is hurt because of what Dana said. I'm all for the fights being made, but I'm not into being delusional about the confusion not being there. There is clearly confusion going on there. And this is not on David Benavidez. We got to stop it.
And it's crazy because I was just on the panel saying the same exact thing. I was saying there's a lot of misunderstandings of what's going on, because I believe that there's also records of him saying that, you know, he's willing to deal with them as well. We got Mauricio Suleiman saying he's in talks for fights at times, and we never heard anything from the WBA, WBO, which is one other thing that's not even to be spoke of. But let's be clear, the last thing that Dana said.
I'm going to open the panel up too, because I'm interested in what everybody else got to say too. I see a lot of people in here saying no. Right? So there's the link. Please let me know what it is.
Yeah, please guys. In fact, it'll be awesome. My last thing that I want to make sure I go on record, Clay, without me even screaming.
Let me just finish real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that you know, I agree with that. You know what I mean? There is confusion there. David Benavidez can't be more right, because you have double talks in these conversations. You have a Nick Khan after Dana said reneged and said we were working with the IBF. We don't understand why. But then we have Nick Khan going into this Congress meeting stating the facts, right? So it looks like there's some conversations going on behind the scenes among Zufa themselves, outside of what's going on, and trying to get the sanctioning bodies on board or keep them out, whatever they're doing. And we have to be clear that we don't know. And like you just said, we don't know until it happens, right, Angelo? You just made that statement about the ring.
Yep.
I think it's fair to what both of you are saying to a degree. I don't think there's a duck there because of the situation, because there are the sides of the street, which
it can't be a duck. There's no contract.
Right.
There's no offer.
Say, the side of the street situation
doesn't exist. There's no duck.
There's no signature and pull out type thing. Yep. Yeah, there's none of that stuff going on. But to my state of the farm on this, right? I 100% hope that we get this fight happening, regardless of when or where. But when it happens,
I want to see a fight just like everybody else, bro. I'm with
Ray, no, I just want to make this point before we let our guests come on. So, Ray, I just want to be clear. no yelling here, right? You guys do understand the mandatory rules that the sanctioning belts are supposed to actually do. The very mandatory rules that Mauricio Suleiman invented a franchise belt for that allowed David Benavidez to never get the Canelo fight at 168. So I already know the WBC plays those games because they're trying to play that game right now between Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia. But you're absolutely right, Claymore. There is no duck currently today because there is no contract and there's no purse bid. But Ray Davis, because there is a purse bid rule. And the WBA has already said that the number one mandatory to the WBA cruiserweight is Jai Opetaia.
It is.
All right? So I get it. Congratulations. Monstro. All 10,000 people going, Monstro. That's great. All right. Amazing. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, bro. If you're going to plan on keeping the WBO and the WBA belt, when a purse bid happens, I'm just going to throw it out there. If you move like Fundura, we're going to go back to this very same episode, and I'm going to say, can we call him a duck now? Can we call him a duck now?
I won't. You know why I won't? Because if he has the Dmitry Bivol fight on the table, that's the fight he's supposed to take. If he has a Dmitry Bivol opportunity to become an undisputed light heavyweight champion, lineal champion, and have a fighter like Dmitry Bivol on his resume, he ain't supposed to choose Jai Opetaia over that. He's supposed to fight Bivol. That's what he's supposed to do. So if that's what the WBA does, listen, decisions, because another conversation could come up on the other side of people saying he ducked Bivol. Oh, bro, you've been calling Bivol out this whole time, and now he's ready to fight you, and now you got other things to do. It don't matter. He's damned if he do, if he damned if he don't. You either believe David Benavidez is like that or you don't, bro. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
People make decisions. Sebastian Fundora vacated his belt for shit, for nothing. It's not the same conversation. This is about a guy who's in a position right now who has plenty of options. And if the WBA plays that game, that's the game they choose to play. If they don't recognize that this man has an opportunity to become an undisputed light heavyweight champion in a lineal title fight, and that Turkey's probably going to pay a huge bag to make that fight happen, and they want to paint this dude like somebody who ducked Jai Opetaia because he went up real quick and told the world before he did anything, I'm going up, I'm doing this, I'm coming down, I'm doing this. He already said that. So no, he's not a duck.
Yeah. Go ahead, read your super chat because I had a question.
Leonardo Rodriguez, my guy, H-Town in the building. I already know, H-Town, respectfully, I already know you're a Canelo Alvarez fan. I know you represent that Canelo Alvarez movement. You're Mexican, so I already know this guy calls out a 168-pounder. You should have just said Canelo Alvarez. Because that's what this is about. AKA Canelo Alvarez to 175 and looking for Bivol after a layoff from back surgery. Real monster, LOL. You know, bro.
Can I speak to this really fast?
No, I'm gonna give it right back to you. I hear you, right? I genuinely hear you, right? Like I feel like Bivol is coming off of a back surgery, and I'm not really interested in that fight that much. But I respect a man who has a plan for his career. I respect his decision. He's made it very clear what he planned on doing for a while. I'm a guy who's also been on record to say that I feel like me personally, I've said it on record. I want him to fight Jai Opetaia. I don't even need him to fight Dmitry Bivol. But at the end of the day, I can't really make an argument for that man not doing something he has his heart set on doing and act like I don't recognize a victory, what that would mean for his for his pound for pound status, for his accomplishments. I understand. I think Bivol is not the same Bivol from years ago, but at the end of the day, I understand. So I'm not in the dark. He already said what he wants to do. But yeah, bro, he looked like a monster to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He looked like a monster to me. Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say that when we was just talking about this, when did Canelo not go to 175 before? Twice, if I remember. Though he lost to Bivol, he still went up there. So him being a true 168-pounder, okay, that's what he is. When he was at 168, he never took the fight with Canelo, right? And I'm sorry, Canelo never took the fight with Benavidez. Multiple times when he was a mandatory or he was a number one competitor, he never took that fight. Been called out for years. Then made a statement saying $250 million before I get in the ring with this guy because of his weight. So, to say the least, I don't think it's so much of him calling out a 168 pounder because we've seen Canelo move up. They can fight at 175. You know what I mean? They don't have to fight at 168. You can say lies. Good. I'm glad, but we have the evidence of it.
It is what it is, man. Some people, I know hard to
believe type shit, right?
I know where they'll go. I know I've heard this conversation has been happening for 2.5 years, bro. So I know all the talking points. I know all the talking points on this whole Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez situation. To be honest with you, David Benavidez don't need to be fighting Canelo. I think that was a complete clout chase Saturday. And I think he just did that straight up because it's Cinco de Mayo. He knew Canelo was in the building, and he just said that he ain't got no plans on fighting no fucking Canelo, bro. Unless Canelo really wants to concede to a bunch of bullshit, which I don't think Canelo needs to do. That fight's not happening. The reality is the fight that's on the table for him is either Dmitry Bivol or Jai Opetaia. Those are the only fights that make sense.
I was landing. So my last point to that is this is what I was telling you about the Mexican fan base not even supporting Benavidez. He'll never gain that respect because the American side and the Guatemalan side of him, he'll never get that full respect. And because of that, you're going to have people that support Canelo always saying that he's a guy that never wanted to fight or he's this guy and that guy. Well, the guy just stole the weekend from your favorite fighter. So rather how you look at it, we'll see how Independence Day goes with Benavidez, see if he steals the content there, and we'll go forward. We'll move forward, rather.
Right. 444, what's good with you, family?
Hey, what's going on, Clay? What's going on? What's going on, panel?
We up in here arguing, screaming on each other. You know how it is.
Yeah. I just want to add something to the conversation. I'm curious to hear you guys' take on it, right? Because I'm hearing a lot of Zufa. But last time that I checked, there's a gentleman by the name of Turkey Alex Sheet that's behind a lot of things, including Zufa. We saw a Terrence Crawford and Canelo happen on a ring card, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true? Do we all agree?
Big facts.
Okay. My issue with what David did, he's not stupid. He fought on a ring card, actually. He fought the brother from the UK, right? Anthony Yard, okay? So the idea that in that moment, pretending as if the world in which he can only fight Jai Opetaia is in the world of Zufa, to me was disingenuous. It was misleading. And what it did is that it created these type of conversations. Because the reality is this: if David Benavidez, El Monstro, is 1,000% everything that people say he is, then his simple answer should have been, I absolutely will fight Jai Opetaia, but let's fight in a ring card for the ring belt, because I don't know what they got going on Zufa. Meet me, let's do it on a ring card. But the Zufa conversation has almost overwhelmed everybody to where they almost forgot about rider season, ring belt, ring card to got people really thinking that this fight can only take place in a Zufa world. And that's not true. We just saw a Conor Ben fight happen on Netflix.
Facts.
The reality is this: I believe David Benavidez is back with PBC to a degree. I believe the sanctioning bodies are propping him and utilizing him to be the next kind of thing that they can control and extract and just exploit to a degree. Because me personally, I don't even take what David Benavidez, what he said in when he was asked a question, serious, because there is a part that he knows I cannot burn the bridge, because if Turkey Alex Sheet actually takes over the sport of boxing to a degree and his influence becomes greater, eventually I am going to have to be within that Turkey Alex Sheet somehow, some way channel. So I think starting off by saying the whole Zufa thing and why did he go do this, to me, all of that is creating a pseudo proxy kind of side of the street without saying a side of the street, because we know Turkey Alex Sheet is somebody that can get the job. Well, he can, the chances of getting something done, we know that he's the one most likely that can get it done. We know ultimately fighters have to say yes or no, but we know Turkey Alex Sheet can get it done. There's nothing in the world that's gonna make me believe if David Benavidez says I want Jai Opetaia and Jai Opetaia says I want David Benavidez, Turkey Alex Sheet, I can't see him not being able to make that happen. So I feel that what we saw is David somewhat taking the side of the sanctioning bodies, PBC, You know, this is a big moment, taking Cinco de Mayo, the passing of the torch without actually, you know, Canelo passing it. That's what I kind of think this is more about. It's like a war within a war, because we already know Zuffa's going through battles with the sanctioning body. But why would you bring that up when you know that this fight can happen without Zuffa?
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I have a problem with.
Here's where I'm at with that, right? And I by the way, everything you said was right on point, right? Like dead ass, it was on point what you said, right? But here's where it's at, right? In boxing, unfortunately, especially on the traditional side, it's all about negotiations. It's all about leverage. It's all about those things. Turkey is a different conversation. See, once Turkey gets involved, now the conversation moves in a different way. But without Turkey, this is about a negotiation between him, the PBC, the people that represent him, and Dana White. Until Turkey jumps in there and says, I want to make this fight, I'm going to put money out there to make this fight, that's not on the table. If David Benavidez, if Turkey has gotten himself involved in this and put an offer out to David Benavidez to make a fight with Jai Opetaia, we'd be having a different conversation. But we don't. Turkey's not the type of person we can just put into conversations no more. He's backed away from boxing in a different way, where he's very selective now of the fights he's choosing to make. When Turkey jumps into the conversation changes 100%. And that's why I'm going to put it back up here. I just wanted to be clear that I feel it's unfair to hold this man accountable when he's saying stuff like this.
Jai Opetaia, how important is it for you to get a chance to fight him without all the red tape in the way?
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division. You know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared.
Okay, I want to pause it right here and say this. So he's acknowledging that it's the biggest fight. He's not putting no fight bigger for himself than Jai Opetaia. He's acknowledging it to the whole space, right? But this guy just asked him a question, and when they're asking him a question, what they're asking him is for him to make a fight, which would involve what? The PBC. It would involve his team. He can't depend on Turkey, because Turkey, he already tried the Turkey thing before with Canelo, right? And what did Turkey say? There's some things I can do, some things I can't do. So what did he say right here?
Nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zufa. We could have made this fight right after this one, you know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zufa title. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter. And I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen, because, you know, we can't make no fights in Zufa.
So that's what I wanted to secondarily ask, was that, do you feel like fighters are losing their power by going over to Zufa?
I think that, I mean, yeah, I think they definitely are losing the power. I mean, it's just a lot of politics in that. You know, I think Dana White has showed that he doesn't want to do fights with PBC, DAZN. And I don't want to even feel like, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting him, but that's just what it looks like from the outside. If we could come to an agreement and make a big fight, let's do it.
Boom. So he's letting it be known, right? He's being honest and transparent and saying, as far as what he can do, David Benavidez is limited, because Dana don't work with my people. If Turkey comes up, that's what he said at the end. If there's something we can do to make this fight happen, he's willing to make the fight happen. He's not making excuses. He's being honest, because you can't just throw Turkey Al-Ashi into your shit. You can't just do it, because Turkey don't operate like that no more. Turkey has to have interest in it and be like, what did Turkey say? Matter of fact, what did Turkey say? Did you see the statement that Turkey put out?
You talking about the fight that for 2027? He wants to make.
Yeah, that's what he said he's interested in, right? So Turkey hasn't even said Jai Opetaia, right? So Turkey's not even really interested in the fight like that for whatever reason. We don't know why, right? But Turkey's the kind of person who speaks his mind, and when you hear him speak, it's volumes. If the man wanted the Jai Opetaia fight next, that's what would have came out. But no, that's not what came out. He wants to see David Benavidez fight Alexander Usyk, bro. Jai Opetaia, if that fight's going to be made, it's going to be a fight that's going to have to involve Dana White and the PBC. And Dana has to clear this shit up. He has to make it to where he's opened up the line of communication with the PBC specifically, if you're talking about Jai Opetaia, but just with the traditional space, he needs to make it clear on what he's willing to do. It can't just be him sitting there talking about fuck those guys. They're fucking boxing up. I'm not going to recognize them. And then putting it all on them when they don't want to fucking work with you. You know what I'm saying? Turkey's different. Okay. We got to separate Turkey because once Turkey jumps into the equation, it is a different conversation. But as long as it comes down to negotiating between Zuffa Boxing and the PBC, it's going to be a problem until those promotional companies figure it out. People like David Benavidez don't have the power. He's not shooting bags out there. He's not making offers. He is an employee of the PBC, bro. He doesn't have the power to sit there and just make a fight happen. Neither does Jai Opetaia. It takes Dana White, Al Heyman, Ludacubus, whoever the powers would be, for them to come out and figure it out. And clearly, you're looking on David Benavidez's face. He doesn't have the backing of his promotional company to make this fight happen. They're not fucking with Zufa. So Turkey has to get involved. I hear everything everybody's saying, but I don't get what's so hard to understand that this man doesn't have as much power as people think he has.
So very good point. And I definitely agree with a lot of what you're saying. The part which is a little bit confusing for me is that we understand that Turkey is a part of all of these different groups, right? I mean, is it safe to say that even though we see Turkey, he elevated Dana White to be the face of Zufa or whatever it may be, he put the right pieces in place. But I don't think anybody is confused about, at the end of the day, Turkey is behind all of it. The same way Turkey is a part of Danzig. I mean, is Turkey not a part of the zone? I mean, in some degree, right? Is it fair to say that? Doesn't he own a certain amount of shares?
100%, bro. 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that because Turkey is starting to take a step back as far as not being so vocal, because he has now implemented individuals to kind of take care of those particular operations. That don't mean that Turkey's influence is not there. I think Turkey's saying 2027 Usyk. Okay, but what about 2026? I think that's a part of the conversation, though, right? I think Turkey's just being upfront about the projection. Hey, this is what he would like in long term. But all I'm saying is this, and you're correct. I agree with you. David can't make decisions. I just find it very strange for David to have experience working with Turkey Alex Sheik. Why did you mention Zufa? You could have just mentioned Turkey Alex. You could have said, Turkey, call me. Turkey, give me an offer. Turkey, I want Jai Opetaia. Turkey, like, why are you pointing to a place that you know there's confusion, that you know that there's issues? And that's, to me, that is a sleight of hands, because you point to the place where you know they're working things out. When we have fighters that are with Zufa that are saying, hey, we enjoy it here. Like, Zufa's it's going to take over soon. You know what I mean? So, but why point to that when you know that they're working things out, when you know that they're at war with the sanctioning bodies? Riyadh season, there's no issues there. There's no issue. You just saw Nexus card. There's no issues there. Why not speak to the positives? Why not speak to the things that actually lean towards it actually happening?
How do we know?
Go ahead.
Before, how do we know a conversation hasn't already been had and it's already been made? How do we know David Benavidez hasn't talked to Turkey a long time ago? Keep in mind,
I agree.
Good business doesn't mean that I just tell you guys everything that I'm doing. So if I
in
come
that
out
case,
on the
I agree.
stage right now, right? If I come out on the stage right now and I go, I already talked to Turkey. He don't care about that fight. He don't want to do that fight. That's putting Turkey on blast. That's making him look like he ain't messing with Jai Opetaia for some reason. That's all types of, like, we don't need to talk about that, right? But if I'm confident in understanding that when you ask me, if I come at you, right, and you got a rich daddy, right, and I know he gives you money, and I'm sitting here and we're talking about you buying let's say a Mercedes-Benz, right? And you're like, yo, bro, I just can't afford that. How fair is it for me to be like, bro, your dad give you whatever you want. You can't just get him to buy. Do you have to tell me that you talked to your dad already and he's told you go get a damn job and he ain't your damn bank account and he ain't buying you no damn Benz? Can I not just understand? Can I not make the difference of understanding that you've got to pay for it? You can't afford it. You can't just communicate to me like, yo, bro, I would buy it, bro, but it costs 75 grand, bro. I don't know, man. That's expensive for that car. I can't do it. But your daddy's rich. Oh, my daddy don't buy me everything. My daddy ain't the guy who does everything for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I got to tell you that. You can't respect the fact that David Benavidez looked at him and said, bro, Zufa don't fuck with the PBC. The IBF just stripped him. If there's a way we could do it, let's get it done. But he's letting you know, I can't do nothing. I can't. My people ain't interested. The people who I go to make fights, they not interested, bro, because of this war going on. It's what did he say? It's too political. It's too many, I'm saying, too much red tape for me to go through to make that fight. He's letting you know. But what did he let you know at the end of it? But if we can figure it out, I'm down to make the fight. That's
fair enough.
Why is that not genuine?
I'll concede to that. When we step into the realm of like what you're saying, how do we know about certain conversations that may have been had or not? I agree. I have no argument against that. I'll concede to that. As far as the, hey, if we could figure it out. I think as boxing fans, we've seen this same story before. We've seen where fighters claim that they are interested. They claim that there's no issue. Let's work it out. But it never gets worked out. You know what I mean? It's like you spoke about David and like, how did you feel about Mauricio Sulaiman stripping Bivol and elevating David Benavidez? Can I get you guys thoughts on that?
That was diabolical.
Diabolical. Yeah, I agree, and I think it's funny that he strips only the people that he don't believe in, and at the end of the day, the people that receive those belts. And I'm not trying to be funny and say this, but happen to be or been in those fights for those belts happen to be like contender Mexican fighters, and I think that's really unfair to the game because the belt should be spread around like normally. It shouldn't just be.
Yeah, the belt should go to who
earned the belt. Like that Mexican Jamel Charlo, right?
No. That's not what I said.
What's up, H-Sound? Go ahead, bro. I already know. I was literally about to segue you in. He segued himself in. What's good with you?
Hey, bro. I don't like hearing that bull crap. It's whoever brings the money and pays the money. It has nothing to do with color, only green. If you bring money to the sport, then Mauricio Sulaiman will favor you.
Oh, so his pockets are filled. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. Right, let's go. That's the truth. This is a business.
Right. It's about money.
This is a business.
I agree. It's all about money.
Listen, I respect that, but I'm going to say this. Who's the fighters that he has given the belt to? And like I said, the top Mexican fighters that bring money to the sport.
Yeah. I mean, Jamel Charlo was bringing money. They were bringing money to the sport too, bro. If you bring money, then you got his favor. I never heard him compare. I never heard him complain about Floyd. Yeah. He loved Floyd.
Floyd had a title. Floyd had a WBC title.
Okay, so
I agree with you, but he used the Mexican fan base to.
I'm gonna tell you this:
2 dates specifically.
This is why to today's date, David Benavidez is not the face of anything. You're still mentioning Canelo. People are still trying to use Canelo when some bullshit he dug David, which is not true. It's the biggest lie and the biggest hoax in boxing. The guy went into 168 at the end of 2020, collected the belt till the end of 2021. At this time, in 2022, David Benavidez wasn't even a thing. People are looking at Canelo as this belt collector. This guy they're saying he could beat Usyk at this time. He was moving up to fight Bivol. He fights Bivol, loses Bivol, decides that he had a knee injury and a hand injury, and he bit off more than he could chew, and he should have just went and got the surgery before he fought Bivol. Comes back to a comeback fight with Golovkin. Afterwards, serves as mandatory in 2023. Serves as mandatory. Now, Sulaiman and the rest of the bodies let us know that the mandatories go in order. So if IBF, wherever's next in number one, that's who it is. They can't do nothing about that. They go in order. He fights John Ryder, his mandatory. And at this time, when he's still seeing who he's going to fight, at the end of the year, Mr. Benavidez decides that he's going to have his own fight. He's not waiting for nobody. He's not waiting for nobody's decision because, he's his own man. And then he fights Charlo, right? And in 2024, guess what happened in 2024, Clay? Benavidez moved to 175.
Okay.
And decided that he was going to go to 175 and not wait for a 168 shot. So how the hell has Canelo been ducking his dude for 3 to 4 years when we're in 2026? It ain't even long enough for him to duck him that year. His wait time was 10 months. He did not want to wait 10 months. He decided to make his own way, and let's look at the facts. There was an offer. No,
Okay.
shh.
Hold on, Ray. Hold
Because
on. Let me go.
you're going with narratives. There was an offer that his dad acknowledged. His dad said, "Yeah, they sent us offer, but it was less than 25%." David deserves more than that. When in prior, because they're using Canelo's name to get David's name out there, get fame,
Okay.
attach yourself to somebody,
Okay.
When he said, "We'll take anything to fight Canelo," why didn't he take the less than 25% offer he said he got? And after they moved on, he goes, "We'll take it now. We'll take it now." Nah, bro, that's not the way this game works, man. Yes,
Okay.
people want to see that fight. I want to see that fight. But we didn't stop the bullshit narrative that Canelo was dunking him for 5 years. He wasn't even in the damn division for 5 years. This is
from 3
stupid.
to 4 to
Yeah,
5.
it's really moving along, but it's all good.
Let
me say this.
4 years or 5 years.
No,
But I get
people,
it, right?
this is what they say, Clay.
No.
Oh, he's dunked him 5. No, it was 3. No, it was 8. No, it was 10 months. 10 fucking months. And David didn't want to wait.
I would like to
I hear you,
respond.
right? I hear you. I think at the end of the day, the thing about it is this, right? And I remember everything you're saying. I remember the less than 25%. I remember the turn, you know what I'm saying? I remember them trying to say they were willing to take it now. You know what I mean? I feel like there's been some mishandling on both sides to a certain degree, right? But I think the moment it became a duck for Canelo Alvarez is when he asked for that obscene amount of money and said
he did not make that money. Let me squash that narrative.
No.
Let me squash that narrative because that wasn't true either. That was not true. This all came from David's camp. This came from David's camp.
Turkey said this himself.
No. See, y'all going with narratives again. Y'all going? No. They asked Eddie. They told Eddie, "Hey, is it true that you asked for this type of amount?" He said, "No." He goes, "We've never got one offer from the PBC about David, just for David to fight David. The only time they were trying to offer him, they're trying to switch a deal that was already made, and we wanted a different deal. We didn't have, and there was no money discussed at this point." And he said, "Well, they said they offered y'all $55 million to fight David." Eddie Reynoso said, out of his word, "Offer us $55 million right now to fight David, and we'll fight him and anyone." No one has ever offered us that money. That is a lie. We never even asked for that. He said, no. This is when all their team, all of David's team retracted all their statements off of social media, because then he said, "You know what? We'll sue you if you're saying that we're making up these lies." And then Canelo said, "Hey, so y'all say y'all got that money. Well, let me see that money now that y'all say y'all got. Y'all say y'all got over $150 million for me. Where is it at?" So you as a businessman, Clay, if I tell you, "Hey, Clay, I'll give you $200 million if I could be on your show," and then I'll be like, "Oh, you know what, Clay? How about $50 million now?" You're gonna be like, "No, where's the $200 million you told me I could have?" Hey, no, your own team, your own manager said Canelo's worth every penny. He's worth 150, 200 million, whatever he wants, he should get.
Right.
So where's the money at that your team was talking about? Where's the money at that your team was talking about?
You gonna let me talk, bro? You just gonna
no, but that's the truth. You're gonna spit anything that I don't like Canelo, so I'm gonna make shit up.
Bro, 15 minutes I've been trying to talk. Respond to you. You just kept going.
Look, I'm just laying out the facts, my brother.
I'm saying, did you land the plane?
It's been landed.
Okay,
I put in the garage for you.
Keep talking. All right, listen to this real quick, right? So you said the mandatory thing with John Ryder and all that, right? Prior to the mandatory situation, right? What did he receive a gift from Mauricio Suleiman before he even became a champion at 168? And they stripped Benavidez. What did he get? So he can remove himself from fights. What did he get? So he can move around.
Bro, we're not asking what
you don't know. You don't know, or do I got to remind you? He got a franchise belt.
That has nothing to do with nothing.
Yes, it does have a lot to do with anything, because it allowed him to move from certain things. And in that agreement, franchise belt, he was allowed to not take certain mandatory fights, no matter who
the franchise belt was for him to fight at 175 and continue collecting belts.
Go ahead, Clay, because I'm under.
I just want to play this real quick and just make it clear that this is the moment it became.
No, this is a cutout. That's not even the whole question what you're about to play.
Oh my God!
Listen.
That's not the whole they already tried this on me, Clay. They already tried this on me.
All right, let me play. Hold
on. I don't. Maybe. Who knows?
Hold on. Let me go back even further.
That amount I can, the amount he say, that amount I can make with anybody. So that's nothing.
You don't think that's the one of the biggest fights that can be made?
I don't maybe, who knows, but he brings nothing to the table for me. It's just he brings just 25 pounds more in the night, the fight on the night. That's it. But if some promoter, not him, because he's nothing to offer me anything. He's nothing to offer me money. I'm the one. I'm the one. So, but if one promoter who I work to, they come and say, I offer to you 150 to 200 million. I fight tomorrow. That's the only reason I fight with him, because the only thing he brings to the table is 25 more pounds.
Okay, so I just want to be
Okay,
clear,
okay.
right?
So yeah,
Wait,
very,
before you
very
answer
clear.
I just
Very
wanna-
clear. That was the question
No,
they asked.
wait. I want to just give you what I saw, and I want you to clarify, because I'm sure you're corrected, but I just want to be clear what I saw there, right? What I saw there is Canelo basically saying that David Benavidez is not in a position to offer me shit. The amount of money he says, this was a discussion about PBC having a certain amount of money allocated to make this fight happen. He was saying that amount of money he can make with anybody, right? He said that amount of money I can make with anybody. I don't have to fight him to make that money. Then he goes and he says David Benavidez doesn't bring anything to the table for me except for 25 extra pounds on the night of the fight. And then he said, if a promoter wants to go ahead and pay me 150 to 200 million dollars, I'll fight him tomorrow. And then he said, other than that, he doesn't bring nothing to me, and he left it there. To me, the space took that, and I took that as he priced himself out of. He's saying,
No, that and see that's where that and that's
okay, go ahead.
That's where that's where the lie starts.
Okay.
Because
well, it's not a lie. It's
he's answering he's answering questions. Listen. He's answering questions. And what does that do for his legacy? He's like nothing. He don't have a belt. He don't bring nothing to me right now. Does nothing for me right now. All he does is come me fighting a bigger guy. That's it. That's what he's answering to. And when they said when he mentioned the whole promoter thing had that type of money because his team had said they had that type of money for him. That's why he said that. He didn't say that just to say it. Their numbers didn't come just out of nowhere. They came from David's team. So he's responding to you're ducking him. They offered you 150, 200 million. That's why you don't want to fight him.
No,
but that's why he says.
Who said that?
That's why.
Did you see his team say that? You saw David say that? You saw
David manager said that. Who? David manager said Canelo's worth any type of money he wants. If he wants 150, 200 million or anything, or even 300 million, he said.
Yeah, he said that afterwards. He said that in response to what Canelo said, because they asked him about what do you think about.
Yeah, but because those numbers came from David's team in the beginning. Period.
When? Who said it from his team?
Suleiman and them. They were saying that they had offered him 300 million.
Suleiman they offered.
That he had turned down the PBC contract to fight him, but he wasn't even part of that contract. They were talking about the contract with. Whoa, listen. No, Clay.
Who said it? I just want you to be specific so I can find it. Who said that they offered Canelo Alvarez 150 to 200 million? Who said that?
Look up when they turned down the contract. Supposedly when they were trying to squeeze in David to the contract with when he was supposed to fight Earl, Jermel, and Jamal, and then one of the brothers fell out, and that's when the whole 250 million whatever bullshit started, because they said that Canelo said no to the contract he turned down. That's when David's team started saying that he turned down $150 million, that he wanted $200 million, this and that. When they weren't even part of that team.
H-Town, you're very much in a gray area right now, right? So
but
you're conflating things and you're not making it clear for me, right? What I need you to do for me is, because I'm assuming you heard that team from somebody representing that team, somebody on that side refer to having 150 to 200 million.
I believe it was David's father that said he turned down 150 million. but that wasn't true because David wasn't part of their contract. So he just says he said, "Oh, they trying to put David on there."
I've been watching this thing closely. I never heard.
Yeah, now trust me, he did say that. He did say that.
It was in a later interview. He said something about it when they were fighting for 175.
I remember the response. I remember the response from David to what Canelo said, being he asked Turkey. I remember him saying, "Turkey, please make this fight happen." And I can pull that up. And I remember Turkey turning that down and said he wasn't interested in that. He responded to it and he said, but he wants to see Benavidez at 175. He wants to see him fight against the winner between Dmitry Bivol.
But do you remember why Turkey said he didn't want to see David versus Canelo?
Well, because of what? Because of Terrence?
No, because he said he's too big. You know, that guy, he's not supposed to be fighting.
I remember that too. I remember that. Yeah, that's cool. But what I'm saying is Canelo Alvarez, without a doubt, man, Canelo Alvarez made it clear that he had no interest in fighting David Benavidez. So the only way David Benavidez would have been able to fight Canelo, potentially maybe, is either force him to either vacate the belt and fight him, which he probably would have vacated because he says that man brings nothing to the table. When in fact,
this is where cultural things are different, because the Mexican fan base would have never let him live up with it. Why do you think he went back and fought Golovkin? That was David's opportunity to make him look like a bitch. He had it in the palm of his hands. But the honest truth is David couldn't make 168 no more. He knew it. He knew if I go down, I might lose again. He looked horrible the last time he did 168, you know?
I feel like we can't speak for these guys as much as we try to speak for them, right?
I'm telling you, culturally.
Hold on. I'm the kind of guy, right, where I'm like, listen, if it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck, it's a duck. And I'm not referring to the word duck as far as somebody ducking. I'm saying I listen to what people say and then I respond. I did not hear what you were talking about from the Benavidez team saying that they offered this man $100-something million and he turned it down. I didn't hear that. What I heard was I did hear David Benavidez refer to the amount of money that Canelo Alvarez, what he just said in that video, he responded to that and said, that's crazy. That man wants that amount of money to fight me. He reached out to Turkey. You got to go? Okay. That he reached out to kind of figure that out with Turkey. Turkey responded with, no, I'm not interested in that for all the reasons you said. I agree with you. He responded to the size difference and him not being interested in it. And matter of fact, he gave him an ulterior plan, said, I want you to get Dmitry Bivol Turbetrbiev winner. That's how that went. So now at that point, once Turkey said that, the pressure became on David Benavidez to make a decision. Wait on a fight that's probably not going to happen, because I think David Benavidez has every right to believe that his best case scenario would have been to pick up a vacant belt, which means nothing to him because A, he doesn't get the respect for fighting for it. B, there's no real money involved in it when you got a Saudi PIF fund ready to pay you millions of dollars to get involved in getting a winner between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. So clearly David Benavidez made a decision at that point that we're not going to wait here no more, when clearly there's high price opportunity for me in the light heavyweight division. This Saudi Arabian guy is offering me millions of dollars to do that. So he wasn't going to take a chance to just prove to the world that Canelo didn't want to fight him by hanging around at 168 just for Canelo to vacate the belt, even though you don't think he would have done it. But I think David Benavidez has every right to believe he probably would have done it, because I think Canelo made a good argument for the fan base to say that he's not interested in fighting David, that David brought nothing to the table. Because if they would have forced that into a purse bid, he would have got even less money than probably the money they were offering him in the first place, because now it would have been a purse bid for somebody to pick it up. So Canelo, how about this? Canelo could have made that fight if he wanted to. Can we admit that?
I mean, that's when you're the face. You're going to make whatever face, but you're going to make what benefits you the most.
So if the fight did not happen between David Benavidez and Canelo, is it fair to say it didn't happen because Canelo didn't want it to happen?
It didn't happen because the financial backing for it to happen didn't happen.
But
so
still,
there's more. This is where people need to understand that boxing is a business. You know,
okay, I understand, but
it's like
the freedom.
Why didn't the freedom?
You have to acknowledge the freedom. See, with the freedom comes accountability, and the reality is Benavidez for free. I'm not saying that would be ridiculous. I'm being extreme, right? But what I'm saying is the power for the fight to be made was in Canelo's hands.
Yeah,
right?
it's a power to whoever the face of boxing is, you know.
Okay, but
see,
Canelo was a face of boxing,
this is Clay.
So
Clay,
the
hold on,
fight
Clay.
isn't made. It's Canelo. If the
No,
fight
but
isn't
Clay-
made, it's because Canelo don't want the fight to be made. Let's be honest. We don't got to see it.
No, but hold up, Clay. No. See, this is where I don't like when people try to take this kind of stance because they don't keep the same energy with Floyd. Because Floyd could have fought all those young lions and he chose not to. He chose to fight McGregor. He chose to fight Berto.
Right.
You know,
I'm okay with that.
and none of us are ever saying that Floyd was a duck.
Why wasn't the fight made between Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis? Let's remove Canelo. The fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Why wasn't the fight made?
Because the money wasn't there either for the fight. Because no one wants to pay.
Money's there. Turkey's been interested in trying to make. Come on,
when it comes to Canelo, when you're one of the faces, why are you going to go make less money with a dude when you can make the same money or anywhere else with anybody else?
Who's Tank going to make the money with? Who has Tank made money with since turning down Shakur Stevenson?
Ryan Garcia. That's the only person he's made money with.
Shakur wasn't involved in that conversation.
You know,
Shakur didn't pop up into the conversation until after Ryan Garcia, bro. He was at 130 when that Ryan Garcia situation came up. He popped up after Ryan Garcia, and he was trying to make a fight with Devin at the time and picked up a vacant belt that Devin left behind.
This is where because I'm a Shakur fan and I've been wanting that fight forever. But reality is Shakur didn't bring no money, the type of money that this guy wants, you know? And that's the reality.
But whose fault is that when he's the one, when the money's coming
the
from his
fans,
side?
Us. It's our fucking fault.
Our fault that the fight wasn't made?
Yeah, because we're not backing up these boxers. David's fan base just happened last night. He didn't have no fan base till last night. This guy decided to be Mexican in the middle of his career to have a fan base. Before he was a bandera roja.
Okay,
he wasn't a Mexican monster.
But you're not. You know, the thing about it is when we got to be real, right? We got to have genuine conversations, right? Real conversations, right? We can get into trying to validate the reason why Tank Davis didn't want the fight, but we can't do that without acknowledging he didn't want the fight. That part of the conversation is important, right? Because accountability falls on somebody's shoulders. And let me tell you, bro, I'm not taking the accountability for a fight not happening in boxing. My ass work the graveyard shift, 40 plus hours a week. I refuse to have somebody tell me my blue-collared ass had anything to do with Gervonta Tank Davis not fighting Shakur Stevenson. I'm not even playing that game, right? So I don't care what the demand was, right? At the end of the day, there is an A side who controls what happens, and there's a B side who waits on the A side to let him know where to meet him at. The power has always been on Gervonta Tank Davis's side of the conversation to make any fight he wants to be in since, let's say, I'll say since Mario Barrios. Since Mario Barrios, his team has been the A side to every conversation that he's been in. So when it comes time to pass accountability as to why things don't happen, somebody has to be accountable, and it cannot be us, bro. You know why? Because we don't got money. We ain't living like that. We out here paying for pay-per-views, buying tickets to go inside these motherfucking events. We're sitting here scraping our pennies together to be fans, bro. The people who get the blame are either the promoters, the fighters, somebody who has vested interest in the fight happening. Now, I'm okay with Gervonta Tank Davis's team not being able to get up enough money to make it make sense for Tank to want to fight Shakur. I'm okay with that idea, but I cannot separate the 2 points. I can't separate the fact that Tank is saying he ain't getting enough money. Tank wants more money. Tank ain't getting what he wants, so Tank doesn't see any vested interest to make a fight, not Shakur's side, because Shakur's made it clear from day one, I know who I am. I'm the B side. I know I got to come in after him. Send me an offer. Send me something. I already know I'm not the guy. Leonard Ellerby went out on front of a camera and said, don't nobody send Tank an offer. Y'all can't do that. we send offers. So there's never been any confusion as to who the A side is and who makes a fight until it comes time to put accountability on somebody as to why the fight isn't happening. I find that to be very disingenuous, right?
But that's the sad thing of modern, and that's the sad thing of boxing, that it's a business before a sport. You know, once you make yourself to a certain, you get to a certain peak in boxing, then you're going to have to keep working, and you're going to have to corner whoever you want to fight, that name, that face of boxing. That's the way it goes. Us as fans should be putting more. I mean, it sounds crazy, right? Because if you're a fan of something, you know, it's crazy. It's time to put your money into it, you know, into these fighters that you want to get these fights.
I agree with you. I agree that we should support what we want, and we should be loud, and we should be real.
Do you know Jaime Munguia outsold David Benavidez in Arizona?
I mean, I don't know, right? But I understand what you're saying as far as fan bases are concerned, and that we should understand our power, that our voices count. At the end of the day, if we support what we like, then what we like will more than likely keep happening, because we don't support enough. We steal pay-per-views.
Yeah, how do you think Canelo got a shot at Mayweather? Like, how do you think Canelo got a shot at Mayweather? Canelo didn't deserve no shot at Mayweather.
The fans pushed it, right?
Exactly.
I agree.
He had a real fan base.
I agree with you, but also another part of it was Floyd took the fight. Floyd made the fight. Right?
I mean, he knew it was an easy fight. He goes, I got a 23-year-old that's flat-footed coming at me.
A big
easy
part
money.
Of it was Floyd made the fight. The A side made the fight. That was a big part of it.
And then now let's remember this. The B side needs to know it's the B side and take what it could get. If you believe in yourself, then you take what you could get. A la Floyd Mayweather versus De La Hoya.
You're a Shakur fan, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like Shakur made it difficult? Do you feel like he asked for too much money? Did he not make it sound like, hey, bro, let me know? Did he, as a fan, do you feel like Shakur did something to get in the way of that fight happening?
No. That's one fight that I know that Shakur will take 10%. He just wants a shot. But Shakur's that dangerous. You know?
Exactly.
He's that
so
dangerous.
Now we can bring this full circle, right?
Shakur is more dangerous. No, and I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna be like, "How's that true? How's that true?" No, Shakur's more dangerous than David Benavidez in a boxing ring.
That's all. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, H-Town.
But so you know what I'm saying, right? You get it, right?
I hear what you're saying.
That Canelo has a bigger shot at beating David Benavidez at 168, 175 than Tank has a shot at beating Shakur.
I don't know about that. I don't know about
bro.
that. That's true. That's
Shakur is so fucking good, bro. I
hear you, H. I hear you, bro. But it don't matter.
That kid's special.
It matters what the fighters think. If Canelo feels like that, David Benavidez is the biggest threat at 168 pounds. It is what it is, bro. And there's no reason for us as fans to believe he doesn't see it that way, because it's probably more than likely the truth that David Benavidez at 168 is the biggest threat to Canelo out of everybody Canelo could be fighting against. That's why Canelo said, I can get that money for fighting all these other guys. I don't got to fight him and put myself in there with a guy 25 pounds heavier on the night than what the weight is supposed to be. I don't got to put myself through that. I can make that money with easier competition. That's what he said. I need more money.
But listen to this, Clay.
To fight him. That's saying that he's acknowledging the danger that's in the ring with him.
And I believe there was danger too. But listen to this. I believe if Davis can't shut the fuck up and stop fucking doing dumb shit and mentioning numbers and money and all this bullshit about 100 million, 85 million. He turned this and that down. They're trying to make him look bad over the money. Then he would have fought him eventually, because David was still looking vulnerable. He wasn't looking like this David. This David's a different person than that David. David was still looking vulnerable at 68. He looked like he didn't have no chin. It looked like he got caught with a good punch.
Like he looked dangerous. It is what it is. But hold on a second.
Hell no. 168 David did not look like 200-pound David.
Hey, bro, he's undefeated, man. He was beating everybody down, and he got in the ring with. They called him the monster, man. I don't know about all that. But listen, Bones 13 81 7 817. Thank you for the super chat. Says y'all need the same energy with Tank. Yeah, I think we kind of spoke to that already, right? We've been speaking. It is what it is. It don't really matter in real time, right? David Benavidez's in the Canelo Alvarez saga, in my opinion, is over with. I do feel like David Benavidez calling out Canelo on Saturday night was a moment. It was a clout chase. I legitimately think that's what it was. He knows that fight ain't happening. We know that fight ain't happening. He said that because Canelo's in the building, bro. Canelo's in the building. He knew he was in the building, so he screamed out to the crowd to literally put Canelo in the crosshairs of the scrutiny of the crowd. And I think it worked because I think the crowd booed Canelo heavy when it came down to him supporting Jaime Munguia and the camera went down on him. The crowd was booing him. It looks like David Benavidez was successful in, at a minimum, painting the picture. Even if you feel like it's not true, he painted a picture that it seems like the boxing space, as far as the Mexican fan base, at least the people inside that building, embraced the picture. And he is on his way. If he is not the face of boxing right now, he's on his way to be it in 1 or 2 more signature fights, bro. Because what he did to Zurdo Ramirez, bro, it's viral. Everybody's talking about it. And like I said in the beginning of the show, if you were listening, people are talking about that dude as the #1 pound-for-pound fight in the world, which I think is ridiculous. I'm not saying that. It is, but it shows you the impact, you know what I'm saying, of what happened. It shows you how it's vibrating through the space.
I'm gonna say this, Clay, and I want you to look for this. If this ever happens, you will know David Benavidez is the face of Mexican boxing when the culture hates him. As long as the culture still embraces him, he can never be the face of Mexican boxing. There's not one face of Mexican boxing in the history of Mexican boxing has been embraced by the culture. Everybody hates the Mexican fighter. That's when you're the face of Mexican boxing. You know, he's never going to be that. The culture embraces him. No, it can't work like that. You can't have the green print.
Was Oscar ever?
Hell no. Hell no.
The Mexicans hated Oscar, but the culture in general loved him. Didn't they? Like him?
Hell no. Floyd's people did not love Oscar. What are you talking about?
No, yeah, Floyd's people didn't like that. I mean, that's okay. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes, I do understand what you're saying. Like I really do see what you're saying right now. I do get it. I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean?
And
but
that might sound a little controversial, but when that happens, then he's the face of Mexican boxing.
I'll say like this though. He looks like he's about to get some. He's getting pushback right now. Everybody, most of my chat today is sitting here going, nah, bro, excuses. This dude is doing this, doing that. Most of the chat was cooking David today, bro. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. That's it. That's when Canelo became the face of Mexican boxing. When the culture said we hate Canelo.
Yeah.
Hey, H-Town, can I ask you a question? Let's say Benavidez does what he really should do next, which is he said Bivol is supposed to fight Petreviev. There's Russian money there. I know this because the Russians are promoting the shit out of Bivol right now for his May 30th fight. After that fight, which would give David enough time to cut back down correctly to 175. So now we're moving into that 2027 space, right? If David beats Bivol, you think he becomes the face of Mexican boxing? Because he would be undisputed at that point.
I don't know, because guys like Virgil and guys like Bam Rodriguez have a lot of favor in the Mexican community still, even though they're Mexican American. Because
they gotta hate them.
Yeah. No. But we're talking about the Mexican community, you know.
So you're saying so it's okay for the Mexican community to love David. It's the rest of the boxing culture outside of that community that has to hate David for him to be the face.
Exactly. When the Puerto Ricans hate him, when the blacks hate him, you know, that's when you're the official face of Mexican boxing.
Okay.
You know.
But you think Bam Rodriguez has a big support amongst the black community in boxing. That's the favorite. I know plenty of.
Yeah, so did Oscar, but they also turned on him too.
So you think they'll turn on him?
Yeah, once it gets tribal, and they turn on you, and then now you're representing one side. Right now he's representing everybody. You know?
Okay. No stock chasers. Nothing. Hey, I'm just being honest with you, Stock. There's nothing to say about Devin right now, bro.
Yeah.
There's no
Devin needs to go there for some carnival people to fight or something.
He has not announced signing to Zufa. I have no idea literally what Devin got going on right now. Right now, I don't know. Angelo, do you know what Devin got going
on? Yeah, but just wait, bro.
Right,
Julian
but I'm just saying, as far as like
Julian Rodriguez was pretty much telling you that there's stuff.
Angelo, you're a Devin Haney insider.
Wait. I just want to be clear about my question here. Do you know anything going on with Devin that you're allowed to speak on?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is just to answer stock chasers who ask me, is there anything to speak on Devin? I'm like, no. I think there's nothing to speak on because we're waiting on that.
Stock, you're going to be really happy though. So just be patient, bro. You're going to be if you're a Devin Haney fan, severe, bro, you're going to be so happy when they finally do a Haney announcement. Yeah. You guys who are all Haney fans are going to love it. It'll be good.
You will be wearing your big Haney t-shirt, sleeping in it.
Yup. With the list. Is the list, Angelo, is there still a list? Or are we done with the list and he's going in a different direction? Is there still a list?
I think that David's just making it worse for himself when he keeps talking about Zufa.
No. I'm talking about Devin.
No. I know. I'm making my Haney point.
Okay.
I think that if you don't understand what Zufa's doing, bro, pick up a phone and go call and ask. Other than that,
so you're saying Devin fighting for the Super Championship?
No, I guess I'm going to say
Devin is fighting.
No. I guess I'm going to say it this way, Clay. You know that I've always been very I want to hold PBC accountable for all the wrong things that they do. So whoever's on PBC that's on David's ear, y'all got to stop, man. Just let David speak to them directly. Let David speak to Nick Khan directly. And then you'll find out how easy it is to actually make fights, and sanctioning bodies aren't really a thing. And you'll see Gustavo of the WBO. He's already publicly supporting TKO. You're going to see the WBA not getting in the way of a mandatory. You're going to see the only two sanctioning bodies that unfortunately is in the space right now for bad news rather than good news is the IBF for wrongfully stripping a man that they already took a sanctioning fee for, that they already accepted a fight. And the WBC talking about how they might be changing this mandatory rule. Oh, surprise, surprise. You mean because Conor Benn is the mandatory to fight Ryan Garcia and it's about to go to purse bid? Is that why you're all of a sudden asking the committee to change the mandatory rules?
That's why they're doing
it. In H-Town, that's what makes people continue to gravitate towards Zufa. People like Stephen A. Smith, even though a lot of people, oh man, Stephen's just doing it. Steven ain't making no money for talking about Zufa. But there's a lot of people in the casual sports fan space that is looking for a structure for boxing to be a top 5 sport in America again. And as you saw, H-Town, if boxing was a top 5 sport in America, then David Benavidez would be a superstar. What David Benavidez had was 10,000 people who got sold really low price tickets. And
about $1.50.
Yeah, and more people here in Vegas. H-Town was talking about rookie minicamp and Fernando Mendoza. How are you going to let a college quarterback from Indiana be the headliner on Cinco de Mayo weekend, bro? That's just the truth. That's just the truth. So when the Devin Haney announcement happens, y'all, everybody's, oh my God, Devin Haney, Sugar Ray, he's going to be Sugar Ray Leonard for CB. Y'all going to see. Y'all going to see.
So look, right? I agree with all of that, right? I've been on the side of this conversation. I'm in support of Zufa, right? I am, right? But I can't play the game of holding David Benavidez accountable. Here's what I hold him accountable for. He's not picking up the phone. He's not doing all those things. But you know what? Fighters for years have not picked up the phone. They have managers who they've hired. They have people who they've hired to do that for him. David Benavidez maybe he has a high school diploma. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that man like that, right? But I'm saying he's not choosing to be in the dark. He is following a game plan that fighters before him have followed for years. He's putting faith into the people he's paying money to do the job for him that they said they would. The only thing he's going to do is if he finds out they're fucking him over, he'll fire them. And then you know what he'll do? He'll hire somebody else to do it again. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what he ain't going to do? He's not going to be on phones talking to representation of Zuffa Boxing going, break this down to me. I want to know. Special, exceptional fighters have done it historically, but we know they're the few. We know they're the niche few that do that. For the most part, David's going, yo, what's going on with that Zuffa shit, bro? They keep telling me this and that. And if somebody goes back that he's paid to and he says he trusts them and says, hey, bro, don't even worry about that. They on some bullshit. Too many politics, bro. We got other things to do. You know what he's going to do? Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Hey,
all right,
Clay,
and he's going to move on. That's how it works.
Clay, you're 100% correct. David himself has said he's there to worried about the boxing. He's got a team for everything else. And I've always said, and I'm not the only one who said it, that David Benavidez has the dumbest team in boxing. But there's so many opportunities he's had, or he could have made his brand bigger, like naturally, without having to do some of the clown shit his team has done, that they didn't do. They did not do. You know, like I said, they could have just waited, and that Bosniak fight was going nowhere. You know, the Metro bells were going to be there. There is, because just how there's very few stars at 175, you know, he was still going to probably come in and be the third biggest star regardless of what time he hit 175. He could have sat there and made Canelo look like a bitch, took his belt from him, did what Golovkin did, made him look so bad that the community would have forced him to fight him. If not, this would have been a stain on Canelo's resume, even without even having to fight him for the rest of his life. Everybody would have been mentioning this in Mexico. Hey, you let that little American kid take your belt and you didn't do shit. You ran, you ducked. You know, that's what he should have done. That was the move. Because
I hear you.
But you gotta understand this, Clay, because
I don't know if there's just so much on the table when you're dealing with Turkey right now, bro. And you're dealing with
and that's fine. That's fine. But we're talking about if he wants to be like the guy in the public's eye. You know, he chose the money over being the guy at that time. You know, he chose there's money over here. I'm going over there.
Wait, Angelo, before you get in, I want to just because I got somebody in the back and I want him to say something. Hey, Nostalgic, I need you to show me your face. I'm not familiar with you, bro. You don't gotta show me. I won't bring you up here, but I don't know you, bro. And it's diabolical out here. And I'm not gonna have nobody flipping a dildo out on the damn camera or some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? I need it. Okay, I see you, brother. All right, I'm just being honest, bro. They killing people out here.
Hey, man, they got Greg Hackett, bro. They
did my guy dirty, man. I ain't going out like that, bro. But my bad.
Hey, Clay, if you want, I could look for it. But we should show the video of Turkey and David talking, just to give this perspective that David and Turkey is talking. They have had this conversation, right? And to your point, H-Town, me and Clay even broke this down on the Read the Ring series, episode 12 that we just did. David, he could have made some easier moves to make him money. Frankly, bro, when he flew to Riyadh the first time, maybe he shouldn't have flown out. You know, maybe he should have just stuck around in February and maybe he'd have gotten 2 more bags that year rather than having to wait for the Anthony Yard money to come in. Because every time I hear the whole and this one I'll bring up H-Town while Clay's looking for that, but I'll hear this argument about, for sure David Benavidez needs to at least be number 5 above Bivol, bro. And here's the reason why I push back on that shit. Here's what a person who's a casual will say. Well, who has Bivol fought to deserve to be over David Benavidez? The undisputed Ring Magazine lineal 175-pound champion named Artur Beterbiev in February of 2025. That's the reason why. And then for people who go, well, he's been inactive. David only fought after David Morrell, which was February. He only fought Anthony Yard. And then he fought yesterday or on Saturday. Well, Bivol's already fighting his mandatory in 4 weeks. So that means there's only a 1-fight gap, bro. There's only a 1-fight gap. So
And
anyway.
that's one more thing, Angelo. These so-called faces of boxing, these new guys, they want to be the face. Hey, buddy, give me more than 1 fight a year. Canelo was giving me 2 to 3 fights guaranteed every year. Floyd was giving me 2 to 3 fights guaranteed every year. Like, these guys give me 1 fight every 15 months.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that structure has to be there. But let me bring in Nostalgic before I hit play on here. Nostalgic, what's good with you, family?
Yo, what's good? Yeah, I've been up here. Not it was after I forgot which fight it was, but I was up here.
I know the name. I know who you are, but I don't know people. What they do is they jack names. That's what they do, right? Like they jack the name and then they come up here. So I need to see the face because, you know, I mean, yesterday we had somebody come in here the day before that they said it was BFTB. I know BFTB. They were like, send the link out. I'm like, that's not BFTB. I know what's gonna happen, bro. We're gonna see some weird shit and it's gonna get my shit demonetized. So I knew who you were, but I just need to make sure you were who you were. You know what I'm saying? But
no, yeah, I know about the whole Greg Hackett thing where his channel got took down because all that. Yeah, no, I know exactly what happened.
Yeah. So what's up, man? What's on your mind, man? By the way, shout out everybody in the building. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. A lot of you freeloaders in here, man. We ain't got 80 likes, bro. We should have 80 likes. Come on. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was some good points you guys were making and stuff about David, and I agree with a lot of it. But I don't know. I don't know about the Opetaia fight. That's the one fight I want to see. I don't really want to see Bivol. I mean, I want to see that fight. I mean, if you're gonna fight at cruiserweight, fight the other best cruiserweight. That's how I look at it. But I mean, who knows? He did say he was gonna drop those cruiserweight belts before, it was like a month ago. So I want to see what he does first. I want to see what David does with those 2 belts. I mean, if he drops them, he's not gonna fight Opetaia. I mean, he's gonna go fight Bivol. So, but yeah, he's saying a lot of the whoever said that thing with the PBC, what they're whispering in his ear. That's definitely what it sounds like. Cause it sounds like he has a lot of like rehearsed lines about like the Zuffa thing and who he's gonna fight next and stuff. So, but he said like 2 years he's gonna fight Opetaia. Man, that's crazy. Like I don't know, man. I don't know if that fight's gonna be made, honestly. Like, but yeah, that's kind of like what was on my mind with that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Without a doubt, the voices in his ear are influencing him, and he's making a choice to go with the people he's paid to. And that's what it comes down to. And people don't understand sometimes that it's like if I pay Angelo to do something for me and I trust Angelo, if Angelo tells me, bro, I already did my research on that, bro, that shit is cooked. If I'm training every day, eating, sleeping, playing with my kids, I ain't got time to be. If I gotta doubt Angelo, then I might as well get another Angelo. I don't got time for this shit. If I gotta say, you know what I'm saying? If it's gotta be to the point where I can't take his word, then he probably shouldn't be working for me, right? So David's in a place to where it's just like, bro, I don't got time to go that deep into it. And even the idea of me having to go that deep into it has made it too political for me already. That part already has made it too political for me that I'm required to go around the people I'm paying a lot of my money to do their actual job now. Pay them as well and then go do their job? Come on, man. At the end of the day, they're either doing their job or they're not. I'm happy. I have no problem with the money I'm making right now, the way my career is going. I have no problem with it, so that's not a problem. As far as me fighting Jai Opetaia, I acknowledge biggest fight that probably could be made. I acknowledge that, but I also have to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on over there, and I don't think there's a lie in that. I think there's a genuine, in my opinion, there's a genuine like, I don't understand that what's going on with that anyway? Aren't they like, didn't they get stripped? And are they not fucking with the same? They're not messing with my guys. My guys ain't messing with them. I can tell you that right now. And on top of that, I am on a game plan, pick up belts, undisputed, Dmitry Bivol. I got all these things that I want to do. So I'm not trying to alter that. But at the same time, I can't fight everybody at once, right? I got to fight. I can't fight everybody at once. I just can't do it. So unless you guys can show me something, like he said at the end, and I think that brings it full circle. If there's a way, I don't know, bro. If there's a way, let's do it.
Yeah, and Clay makes and that's the thing about the show, right? Is even if you listen to our Read the Ring that dropped this morning, we're giving you all the facts. But you know, today's open panel, it's pretty fun. But yeah, nostalgic. At the end of the day, bro, I agree with what Clay's saying, right? David's too busy trying to focus on being a fighter that what you said about it sounding rehearsed, it kind of did, man. Because what I wanted him to just say is, listen, guys, I've been straightforward from the beginning. I was able to get the WBC belt at 175. I moved up in weight to build on my legacy, but I already said I'm moving back down in weight because I want to fight Bivol, right? He could have just stuck to that. Well, what about Jai Opetaia? Are you saying you don't want to fight Jai Opetaia? He could have just said, I'm willing to fight anyone who wants to fight me. But if you're asking who I want to fight next, I'm trying to be undisputed at 175 and left it alone. But the confusion is really, this is where it really ramped up, bro. And I was telling Clay about this. With the Polynesian, Samoan, and Australian community, it really ramped up when Jai Opetaia put out the clip of David Benavidez saying, yeah, man, you know, I move different than everybody, you know, because I'm out there trying to fight the best. And then it shows Jai Opetaia in his video right next to it, looking at the video. And then Jai says, well, yeah, it's nice to say it, bro, but are you actually going to do it? Because I'm right here and I am the best. And you're not fighting the best.
Angelo, and what's not helping David, which is not David's fault, is all the talks about Zurdo being hurt before the fight, you know, saying that he was coming in hurt, and then Zurdo himself saying he had 1 or 2 fights left in him and he was going to retire. So, I mean, a lot of people were already saying this was going to be a cakewalk for David, you know, that Zurdo was ready to get out of there. You know, now that's not David's fault if he was hurt before the fight or not, but the way people view it is like, okay, you're preying on the weak. Now you win and you beat the crap out of Zurdo, and you're calling out the guy that's coming off of back surgery and the guy's at 168 pounds. You know, instead of being in there, look, man, I'm the monster. You know, I'm the real monster. Jai Opetaia, I'm here. You know, hey, you know what? Usyk. Hey, we all know Usyk is not a big heavyweight. You know, he's a small heavyweight. It's not like he's calling out Fury.
He's acclimated. Hold on 1 second. I don't want to cut you off, but let me play this because I got to pull up these people too. I see Ray Davis, and let me pull up Ray Davis. And I see you, 444. I got you, man. But let me play this because he made me pull this up. I want to play it.
The fights for him, only 3 options in my opinion. It's Arthur or Bivol or Opetaia and cruiserweight. Yeah, we want to do big. We want to do it. Yeah, the next step is big. Yeah, you need to see. I give them everything. I said to them like I'm the green light. They're crazy. You know, they're crazy. They're wasting time. And then I tell them, don't wait for us. Let him be busy until someone of the crazy accepts. Yeah, but we're ready. We're trying to make the biggest fight out.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I gotta say something real quick. It's been a long day. That motherfucker, Turkey Al-Rashid, said it's either Dmitry Bivol or Benavidez or Jai Opetaia. I don't got time for this shit. That's what he said. So, let's see.
Do you believe me now, Clay? Do you believe me now?
Well, I'm not just going all out, but I got to. I'm not sitting here trying to defend bullshit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what was said was what was said by Turkey. I don't know, right? This is where I'm going to say.
No, you're absolutely right now, Clay, and I want you to go on this because you're hearing it from the mouth of the man who gives everybody the money. But my problem with David on his answer was, well, this Zufa shit, bro, and that's going to get in the way. And he didn't only just say it on the post-fight. He said it on the pre-fight with Dan Canobio, too. Yeah, man, the problem is Jai signed to Zufa. Why the fuck is that a problem, bro? It's not. Riyadh season.
It's not because you signed to Turkey.
Exactly what I was saying, bro.
You know, Turkey's the main guy. They don't give a damn what Dana says or anybody says. If Turkey says, that goes. You know?
Clay.
So that...
Hold on, Sean. Go ahead, 444.
Thank you. And Angelo, I appreciate you. And Clay, I appreciate you letting the truth out. We have to stop acting like we don't have common sense. Turkey writes the checks. We know this. This is a standard roadblock to create the conversation to justify the actual duck. This is what it is. If and also too, and H-Town, thank you for sharing that. Listen, the fight was great. I enjoyed it. But can we talk about it in the proper context, man? The guy fought at his natural weight for one time in his life, and we're giving him extra credit. No, that's what he weighs. He didn't have to cut. He weighs that. So just because he chooses to fight at his natural weight, and he does a great job with a guy that he's fought more than 200 rounds in sparring, he knows like the back of his hand, who came into the fight, had no head movement, stood right in front of him like it was a sparring match, pad work. We're going to give him all that credit? We can't, we have to stop the hype. The reality is this. Is David Benavidez a great fighter? Absolutely. Did he do something? But can we have the real conversation? The real conversation is he knew the guy like the back of his hand. The guy came in and posed no real threat. The guy already talked about retiring. He got 1 or 2 fights left. He spoke about this. There's the potential that he may have been hurt. The guy got hit with a clean elbow in the fight, which later resulted in him getting stopped. I'm not saying that was the all in the everything, but it's a part. It impacted the fight, though.
And the stoppage was a thumb to the eye.
And the stoppage was a thumb to the eye. We're going to overlook that, right? To be on the hype train. No, here's the reality. I would have given that fight with Zurdo more credit if after that fight he says, "Hey, listen, this was just a warm-up fight for me. I want Jai Opetaia. I'm at cruiserweight. Why do you want to lose the weight? Why do I need to see you cut 25 pounds, bro?" But guess what, though? It's a problem for Devin Haney to cut weight, right? To go and fight Shakur. Everybody's, oh, no, he's at 147. It's the best he's ever been. At 147, he's stronger. No. But now we're okay with David Benavidez cutting 25 pounds to do what? Like, come on, man. Fight at the cruiserweight. That's your natural weight. Show us what you're made of. No, you're afraid of that Australian monster, and you know it, and it's all over you, trying to hide behind Zufa. No, you're not hiding behind Zufa, bro. Turkey's right there. The one who cuts the check. What are we talking about?
I got to be honest. I can't even say nothing, bro. It is what it is, bro. I can't say it. I missed that part when Turkey said Jai Opetaia's name.
So you believe me now, though, right, Clay? Now am I yelling?
Well, no, I do believe you, right? I do believe you. Now, I mean, I'm not all the way there. I just still need to see what happens. I want to see the offer come now. I want to see the offer come, and I want to see him not take it. But at the same time, without a doubt, in this clip right here, Turkey Al-Sheikh said those are the 3 fights. So from my point of view, David Benavidez is picking Bivol first. He can fight Jai Opetaia next. Turkey's made it clear it's one of the big fights that need to be made. He's choosing right now.
My problem with it, Clay, is you take the moniker the monster, then move like a monster. Say, look, I want Jai Opetaia. I want Jai Opetaia next. I want Jai Opetaia next. If Jai Opetaia is not available and we can't do that, then I'll move to Bivol. But if Jai Opetaia is my priority, he's the man at this division. I'm the monster. I'm gonna show you I'm the man at this division. And if I can't make that, then I'm gonna go get Bivol. You got to give them a deadline. Well, you got till August. You got till August or July or whatever to let me know.
Okay,
hold on a second. I just want to play this video one more time because I just wanted to finish. It's just short. Let me just play it out.
The fights for him, only 3 options in my opinion. It is Arthur or Bivol or Opetaia and cruiserweight. We want to do big. The next step is big. Yeah, we need to. I give them everything. And I said to them, I can the green light.
They're crazy. They're wasting time. And then I tell them, don't wait for us. Let him be busy until someone of the crazy accepts.
Yeah. Well, we're ready. We're trying to make the biggest fights happen.
Yeah, this
like
is
we're saying, what are the people?
Okay, wait. I also want to say this. Turkey alludes to the fact that he's offered all of them a fight. And he's waiting on them to accept. So there's equal. We have to be fair.
True.
He's saying
now
that,
to be.
Yeah.
Let me get up. Go ahead, though, Clay. Finish.
No, I was just gonna say because Clay is definitely being factual right now, guys. So this is great. Clay, let me just say again: do not be surprised when you hear the announcement July 12th, Jai Opetaia. Just waiting on the opponent to sign. Just letting you know that.
Right, we're waiting on an opponent, but it's not David. But hold on.
Yeah.
No, because the David fight offer, which I was saying in the beginning, it's coming, bro. And when it comes, David will rightfully, and it's fine. I agree with you too. When you say if David denies it to get Bivol, I'm right there with you. No problem. No problem.
Okay, hold on. Ray Davis, go ahead and say something real quick. I want
to. What I was definitely going to touch base on is we're calling this guy Duck again. You mentioned earlier, there's no offer really sent. Then we have to also look at the fact that Benavidez has said this when he moved up, and he said he got the opportunity for that belt. And after he gets the WBC belt, he's going to fight Zurdo. After he fights Zurdo, he's going back for Bivol. He's stated this to the press multiple times.
But Ray,
but we're moving forward with this. Go ahead.
It's going on close to 3 hours. I understand what you're about to say right now, but the point of the matter is it's what I was saying to A-Shawn earlier. It's about decisions. It's a difference between not having a fight on the table and calling him a duck, but a fight being on the table and you're choosing to move in the way you're moving. And what it sounds like is these 3 fights are on the table for David Benavidez to pick from. That's what Turkey's basically saying, right? And he's saying, but he also is saying that nobody's signing the paperwork yet. So he told David Benavidez to be busy. He said, it's okay, stay busy until one of these guys go down. And he included Jai Opetaia in there. He included Beterbiev, and he included Bivol, saying that none of those 3 guys have taken the offer he's put on the table for them, and he can't make them. Correct. So until that happens, stay busy, right? So it's not about the whole story building up to it. Like,
I'm not saying David's a duck because there's no offer yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, all right, guys, man. I got to go, man. Clay, a pleasure. Angelo, man. Hey, keep it 100, keep it honest. Let's stay on the facts. Let's not move these narratives just to make your favorite guy look good. And I'm out, man.
Ain't no favorites. My favorite guy retired, man. All right, man. Let's go. Hold on. Anyway. Hold on a second.
Maria said enjoyed the fight, huh?
Yeah. It's beautiful. And now we have a big cards also, the Mexican cards. We can talk.
Well, remember you told me you were going to give me Canelo. No, what happened with that? The camera's on.
I want to tell you something. There is.
Okay. I want to pause this here and say, Clout Chase. He's got to stop this Canelo shit. He's got to stop this Canelo shit. Canelo is no longer part of the conversation, bro. He got to stop that shit. It's over with. It's over with. Even if Canelo were to sign for the fight, I don't even want to really give you credit for it because you're way bigger than this dude. You just went up to the cruiserweight division and broke the eye socket of a unified champion up there, bro. Stop it. No more Canelo. We got to stop that now. Now you're clout chasing. It don't make no sense. Hold on, let's keep going.
Look at something we can do, and there is something we cannot do. Okay? Of course, I want to see this fight. Yeah, but maybe when he's 40.
You want it now?
Yeah.
You want it now? Exhibition. Yeah. Well, we're ready whenever.
We'll talk. We will talk with him.
We'll stay working.
I promise you, I will talk.
Thank you. We're ready.
Okay. Now closing that out, just say this, right? The way that conversation ended is David has made it clear we're ready to fight all those guys. You let me know when you're ready, right? So now I want to use that to put context to what he said in that clip on Saturday in the post conference, right? When he's letting it be known that he don't know, right? Because what he's basically saying is this is the answer 444. I hope you heard that 444 to say that.
Yes, I did.
Right? So it makes sense to you. I hope it makes sense to you. I mean, that what he's basically saying is, bro, ain't nobody come at me with no offer yet. He's already, you said, why don't he talk to Turkey? He's he did talk to Turkey. He you know what I'm saying? And he's waiting on Turkey because Turkey said, and what did Turkey say? I can't get them to sign it yet. I'm gonna stay busy, and as soon as one of those deals go down, I'm gonna reach out to you. And that's why David said right here at the end of it, hey, bro, we'll stay busy, bro. We'll keep it moving. You let me know when you're ready. And he patted Turkey on the back of his shoulder. We waiting on you.
Can I ask a question, Clay?
Fair shake here.
Can I ask? Is this conversation between Turkey post
no,
Zurdo
it's
fight?
It's pre. No, it's
before.
pre. It happened way before.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. So
in fact, 444. In fact, this conversation happened on the Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios is when this happened.
Yeah.
So when he was alluding to stay busy, he meant, yeah, that's cool. You're fighting Zurdo. That's what he meant. Because I'm telling you, the Jai Opetaia news is coming, and then he's going to fight in July, International Fight Week, WWE, UFC, that whole fan base is going to go crazy for Jai. And then offer's coming, bro. And when that offer comes, I agree with Clay. I won't call David a duck. I will not call David a duck if he chooses to do what he said he was going to do, which is to cut his body back down to 175 and be undisputed at 175. That's fine, bro. Whatever. But anyone less than those two, I'm calling him a duck.
No, okay, I agree with that. I agree. Nobody else but those two. Unless they're the ones who don't want to fight him. They're getting offers and they turn down offers, then I ain't going to call them a duck. But what I'm saying to you is the David Benavidez performance was such a high impact. You can agree or disagree with anybody who feels this way, but here goes somebody who I respect at a high level. I don't play with Coach Hector Bermudez's face or his name. That man is one of the dudes as far as I'm concerned. I don't care, right? And here he is. First of all, he's trolling H-Town, of course. Let's get that out the way. But on the other side of the trolling, he says, David, pound for pound, number one. And he's not the only person. Another guy who I respect at the highest level in this conversation, Keon, is saying number one. Another guy who I respect at the highest level, Ray Davis, is saying pound for pound, number one. That fight smacked motherfuckers different. It hit him different, bro. It hit him different in a way that I did not think it would hit them. I didn't think they would hit him like this, bro. I didn't see this coming, this pound for pound conversation. I saw face of boxing potentially, face of Mexican boxing. I did not see this pound for pound conversation, bro. And I want to go on record. I want to go on record and saying I still don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe he's pound for pound number one, but I do think it's very interesting that the space is cooking like this.
So Clay and Ray, y'all have no problem with a fighter going up, quote unquote. This is just the narrative, going up 25 pounds and then losing 25 pounds. Okay, I'm not gonna call him a duck, but for me, I'm hanging on this. You say you want to fight the best,
right?
When Crawford moved up, he fought the best at that weight class, which was Canelo Alvarez at that time. We can't talk about David Benavidez because David Benavidez was not campaigning at that division no more. So can we all agree that Canelo Alvarez was the best at that division at that time?
Yes.
Of course.
Is that fair? Okay. So for me, I'm like this. All you've been saying is that you want the best, you want the best, you want the best, you want the best. You move up to cruiserweight. You don't fight the best, but I get it though. Like I get it. Like there's belts. It's someone, okay, cool. Why would you take your body through some?
Oh shit, his connection went bad.
Can I answer that? I know where I think he was going with it. So I think the reason why I think it's okay is we've seen fighters move up down multiple times. We have Roy Jones who moved from 175 all the way up to 209 to make a fight at heavyweight to come right back down to 175. It has happened before. Did it look good for him? No. So at the end of the day, this guy is like close. I think he's less than his walk around weight to begin with. And for him to even go back down to 175 where he's campaigning, that shouldn't be an issue. I mean, he had a goal in mind and he stated this goal I was touching base on earlier. I'm not going to stay there, But if that's his goal and to continue his path to where he wants to get, I don't see a problem. He never said he didn't want to fight. He actually said that's one of his that's the fight he wants. Not, you know what I mean? His biggest fight or something like that, right? To say the least. If he knows that's his biggest fight, then shit, I need to sharpen my skills. And if Bivol's going to help me sharpen my skills, and he has a title at a division that'll help me get to where I want to go and get an accolade so it helps my career, why not do that first? Why not put that in pathway? He wasn't signed to Zufa at the time. They were beginning talks, and they were mentioning Jai Opetaia. When Jai Opetaia first called him out, when he talking about why go fight Angelo, you might remember this. Why you go up there and fight Zurdo? Why don't you come fight the real guy? Right? He laughed at that. Matter of fact, he never responded. His first response to that was at the fight when he walked past him. He goes, he's not as big as I thought he was. Did he not say that? So at that point, I think Benavidez said he would take the fight. He always said he would take the fight, but he never said, I will fight him. And when he seen him in person, this is when he actually said, I will fight him. And he said, that's the fight to make. And he let us know as the fans that was the case. Now, to that point, I'm not a huge David Benavidez fan. I got my eyes wide open because I seen something that I only seen in special fighters and fighters that are willing to fight people that are put in front of them. That I have to give him his credit for it. And that's all I land my plane on.
Yeah, hey, Ray, can I respond to this real quick, Clay? So my friend the Severe Raider, if you guys want to check out great Raider content, Severe goes, he should be ranked over guys like Haney and Shakur, but I can't put him at number one. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now about Severe, Ray. He's a big Haney guy, right? Like, my guy, Severe, loves Devin Haney.
That's my brother.
I will defend Devin Haney. And this is why at most, Clay knows this. At most, I'm putting Benavidez at number 6. And this is where the short memories of everybody is at. Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, whether you like it or not.
He did.
He did. All right. So he definitely doesn't go above Devin Haney. The fact that he's above Devin Haney now, Clay knows I had a problem with it.
Right.
But whatever. But Shakur, you done lost your mind, Severe.
Yeah.
Shakur,
that's what I
bro.
What I see on that one,
my blind mode.
That's what I saw, bro. I ain't gonna lie. When I see Shakur, I looked down on my phone. I said, because I know that's your boy. I'm like,
look, I went blind, signs going down, all types of
like what he like. Like what he like, bro. He like what he like, bro. I don't know. He like what he like. It is what it is, bro. I ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But guys, listen, man, it's about that time for me, bro. I've been on, a minute now. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Hit the like button. Thank you for the support in advance. If you haven't hit the like button, do that right now. Subscribe to the channel, bro. The content is hitting, bro. Watch the Read the Ring series.
I was gonna say Read the Ring, right? I'm called R&R, y'all, or RTR, whatever y'all want to call it. But
yeah, we have a great.
Smash the like button too, man. I'm tired of Clay saying this. I'm telling y'all ninjas out here, smash
let me finish my shit, bro.
Like button.
So you do that. Subscribe to the channel, bro. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, man, for supporting the channel. All the subscribers who are here, who are all the new subscribers. We got a couple new ones today. That's what's up. I think we got a couple. The ones that we ain't get, hit the damn subscribe. I don't know what you're waiting on. Why you hating, man? Probably that one guy. There's one guy every single show that puts a thumb down, right? There's one guy who comes by who makes it a point to come by and puts a thumb down. He's always by himself. It's never multiple. It's always one. You know what I'm saying? Who does it? I appreciate you, bro. At least you're watching the content. Let me see. Fanboy Killer in here says, yo, Clay, it's crazy that you let mods time out other mods. What? And KO was defending himself and cooking Roger that. Mods timing out other mods. Okay, guys, let's not play that game. Do not use your privilege to carry out personal vendettas, bro. Protect the channel, not yourself. Just because you getting into a heated conversation with somebody and they said something to you that hurt your feelings, the mod thing is not for you to defend. It's the channel. If they're disrespecting the platform, that's what you're here to do. Mod the chat and make sure, but don't sit here hating on people because you get in arguments with them and using your guns that I gave you to protect the property, and you're out here shooting people you caught beef with at the bodega, bro. Fuck the bodega. I don't care what the hell happened at the damn bodega. Do not use my gun to shoot somebody at the bodega, bro. It's diabolical, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Do not be out here shooting people at the damn bodega, bro, and then bringing the gun back to me like, yeah, bro, that was fun. Nah, it wasn't fun. What the hell? Because if they come over here, I'm gonna let them know you shot the dude at the bodega and you're supposed to be protecting the property. So don't stop with the bullshit, man. Let me see here. Clay, that doesn't mean it's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's all speculation, but I appreciate all you guys. The boxing conversation was great today, man. We should be popping off tomorrow at regular time, man. Shout out to Julian Rodriguez, who came by here earlier, man. We're looking forward to see that card do what it does on Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna watch it, call it. I'm be honest. I'll see. I might.
Yeah, it's the work.
I don't want to make promises.
It's the work, man. It's the work. And for that matter, Clay, are we gonna do the watch party for Dubois, or are you working there too? Because that's the date.
No, I'm not working. I'm not working on one. I'm good.
Okay. So we doing Dubois. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm done with that Saturday thing. That was a temporary thing. That was 4 weeks, and the 4 weeks have passed.
All right. So there you go, guys. That starts early in the morning. Well, not really early in the morning,
by the way. That's why I was here calling the Monster Inoue fight.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Speaking of which, by the way, guys, as the only Asian man in this panel, I'm a little offended that we haven't talked about
Asian right now.
Oh, yeah, in a way.
Asian right now.
So, hey, stop it, bro.
Okay, I'm just saying, if you Asian, be Asian. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying, look,
Listen,
Japan is literally a boat row away from the Philippines, bro.
All right, Asian, bro. Keep telling you that,
man. I'm just saying. But tomorrow, right, Clay? Tomorrow we done did so much David Benavidez talk. Tomorrow's gonna be Asian boxing talk.
Blasian boxing, right? Bro.
Whenever it fits.
Come on, man.
He always got that Asian in his back pocket. Whenever he needed, he could just be like,
I know what the Philippines got over there, bro. You're gonna get that away from me. You're not getting away from me to that. You're blazing, bro.
Yeah, no, Clay's right though. I can pull out all the cards. Hey, bro, the first Filipinos were black, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah. Bro, we're like one chromosome away from a Latino, bro. What are you talking about? Shout out to all my Latino brothers, bro. What are you talking about, bro? Stop playing with me, bro. Anyway, shout out to everybody in the building, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, Nostalgic, man. I appreciate you stepping into the building, man. Feel free, I'm going to try to put these links out a little more often. I can't promise I'm going to do it all the time, but I do like building with the community, bro. And I think we got to, this panel today wasn't bad at all, to be honest with you.
It was a good panel.
Yeah,
that was a good
show.
Panel.
Glad to come up here, man. It was a good show.
I'd be scared that y'all gonna get ignorant up here, but I appreciate it when you guys keep it professional and engage in a adult way and build.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I want to ask Reyes, was that Haney? You were saying the Haney announcement. Was that Zufa related, or could you not say it?
God damn it! Hey, don't we got to end the show, bro? We got to end the show.
I'm looking at Angela like,
we got to end the show, man. It's about that time for Claymore, y'all. It's about
all
that
right,
time.
guys. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Until the next one, we out.
Make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back, you ain't fitting for it, cause you